Ding! The ocean survival game has officially descended. All humans aged 14 to 50 worldwide have completed interdimensional transport. All players are requested to carefully read the survival rules and abide by the game regulations. The newbie protection period lasts for 72 hours. Player deaths during this period will erase save data. You only have one life throughout this phase. Once the protection period ends, brutal open ocean survival officially commences. The ocean holds both opportunities and dangers. Supply crates and marine resources spawn at random, while unknown beasts and eerie entities lurk everywhere. All gains depend entirely on your luck and strength. Players may freely wave their arms to activate their personal holographic panel, which can display your status page, server region, inventory, supplies, and system notifications at any time. Ensure you retain at least one intact arm. Untreated seawater must not be consumed directly. 5. Upgrade your personal vehicle as soon as possible. The Raft is the lowest tier starting vessel. Insufficient vehicle rank leaves you unable to withstand hazards in higher-level sea zones. Hearing the cold electronic voice once again, Suyao felt as if she had woken from a distant dream. She never imagined she would get a second chance. Salty sea wind swept over her face. She looked down at the crude raft assembled from wooden planks beneath her feet. It swayed gently, everything feeling both familiar and alien. Instinctively, she rested her hand on her slightly rounded abdomen, where a fragile yet resilient new life resided. "Don't be afraid, little one. Mother will protect you this time," Suyao murmured softly, lowering her gaze. She then lifted her eyes toward the boundless blue sea and sky. White clouds drifted lazily, and sunlight shimmered across the endless waves. The scenery seemed peaceful at first glance, yet endless peril lingered beneath this serene facade. Suyao's eyelashes trembled violently. She clenched her hands tightly until her knuckles paled. She was truly back. This was no hallucination from her deathbed after childbirth, nor a fleeting comfort in her final moments. Suyao had genuinely been reborn, sent back to the very beginning of the ocean survival game. After the surge of joy faded, Suyao quickly reached toward her neck. A blue spherical pendant came into view. Thank goodness. The supplies she stockpiled before the game's arrival had come with her. The pendant was named Blue Amber, a spatial artifact offering a stationary storage space spanning 500 square meters. She had obtained it in her previous life while exploring an underwater secret realm. As the first player to discover that secret realm, she received a secret realm treasure chest as a system reward. Suyao had expected materials for upgrading her vessel, yet she ended up with a bound spatial pendant instead. If it were unbound, she could have listed it on the trading marketplace and sold it to resource hoarding merchants. But bound spatial artifacts could not be exchanged for supplies. Desperate for provisions as her due date neared, she had fallen into despair. From then on, Suyao wore Blue Amber as a necklace and used it as extra inventory until her death. She never dared hope fate would grant her rebirth, sending her back 3 days before the game launched. What surprised her most was that the Blue Amber pendant still hung around her neck. With limited time, Suyao emptied the pharmacy and supermarket of her private hospital. Given the finite storage space, she prioritized maternal and infant medicine, sterile childbirth kits, and general pharmaceuticals. For food, aside from meat, eggs, dairy, staple grains, and purified water, she stockpiled infant formula for every stage of the baby's growth. For daily necessities, anticipating marine natural disasters, she stocked plenty of adult windbreakers, down jackets, and thermal gear. She also fully prepared all essential items for the infant. In her previous life, Suyao had been transported into the game straight after waking up, wearing nothing but pajamas. She arrived in a daze and failed to listen carefully to the official announcements, drifting aimlessly through the 3-day newbie phase in a stupor. Looking back, she felt ashamed, wishing she could reprimand herself for her foolishness. Reflecting on her past experience, she identified 2 major reasons for her failure. First, she only discovered she was pregnant after entering the game, with no knowledge of the child's father. Panic overwhelmed her. Imagine a young woman fresh out of university suddenly carrying a child, with zero memory of how it happened. It was terrifying. Second, her abysmal luck. Not only was she deployed to a resource-starved sea zone in the newbie phase, every crate she opened contained useless items. Even the most skilled players would struggle against such hellish difficulty. Worse still, her terrible luck appeared to affect anyone near her. Anyone who teamed up with her or explored secret realms alongside her would also suffer misfortune. To avoid dragging her friends down, Suyao had to survive alone. When she was 8 months pregnant, a group of player raiders attacked her raft. Though they were players, they had long abandoned humanity. They dismantled her vessel, looted all her belongings, and left her severely injured. The trauma triggered premature labor, and she died during childbirth. The grayish-blue sky, blood-stained deck, and the attackers' vicious grins were all burned into her memory. Before she died, she memorized every attacker's ID, silently vowing to make them pay. Her only regret was her unborn baby. She had failed to protect her child. Perhaps her obsession ran so deep that some higher power heard her plea and granted her a second chance. Ding! System notice. The newbie protection period has activated. The ocean survival game officially begins. The electronic voice pulled Suyao back to the present. Among the 5 billion global players, some broke down in tears, some collapsed onto their rafts in terror, while others frowned silently. Whether they accepted it or not, there was no turning back after hearing the announcement. Only Suyao stood tall on her raft, upright and resolute. Sea wind swept through her long hair. She took a deep breath, filling her lungs with the familiar salty ocean air. If the ocean survival game offered live broadcasts, viewers watching from above would see Suyao and her raft rocking with the waves. Unlike everyone else, she showed no trace of panic, seeming perfectly attuned to her small vessel. Wasting no time, Suyao waved her hand. A holographic panel materialized half a meter in front of her. She skillfully resized the interface and opened her personal status page. Name, Suyao. ID, user CH532117 modifiable. Region, Huagua Server 100, Zone 222. Vessel, Tier 1 vessel, raft durability 99. Health points, 6 sub-health. Even casual outdoor groups won't want you along. Fatigue level, 9 not bad, keep it up. Strength, 3 physically frail. Agility, 2 wow, are you an AFK player? Intelligence, 9 possessing a natural high IQ buff. Overall combat rating, 29 top 60 within the zone. Class, none. Skills, none. The game's blunt commentary was as unforgiving as ever. Suyao was about to exhale in relief when her gaze landed on the number 222, striking her like lightning. Wait, why Zone 222? In her previous playthrough, she had clearly been assigned to Zone 233. Who could have guessed Rebirth would shift her server? What would this mean for her quest for vengeance for herself and her child? Her worst fear after entering the game had come true. Not only could she not seek revenge immediately, she would be separated from her old friends for the foreseeable future. Had the game system detected something and altered her fate on purpose? Or was this the butterfly effect brought on by her rebirth? Suyao's brows knit tightly. The sudden shift triggered a sharp surge of vigilance. Still, she had endured countless hardships before. After a few brief seconds of panic, she regained her composure. Change also meant new opportunities. If she had been transferred to a different zone, could her infamous bad luck also change? She would be satisfied just to become an ordinary player with average fortune. Even without her original zone, Suyao still held massive advantages. She knew the pattern of natural disasters for the coming half-year, plus information on tournament dungeons launching in the first 6 months. Foreknowledge of disasters let her prepare ahead of time and stockpile supplies. When catastrophe struck, she could sell goods for profit using exclusive information. As for tournament dungeons, she had participated in some and learned partial details about the rest. This was her greatest edge. As for revenge, as the old saying goes, a gentleman may wait a decade to settle scores. The survival game would only grow harder over time. Players would keep perishing, and servers would merge once the population fell to a minimum threshold. If she stayed alive long enough, she would cross paths with her enemies eventually and settle all scores from her past life. She gently stroked her barely noticeable belly. Little one, mother will make them pay. For now, we must wait. Suyao sorted out her plans and double-checked her status panel to avoid missing any details. A pink glowing symbol marking pregnancy appeared beside her ID, exactly as it had been in her past life. The game displayed all physical conditions on the status screen, though only the player could view these markers. It was one of the few merciful features of the ocean survival game. If she fell ill, a smoky black sickness marker would appear. Should her condition worsen to a critical stage, a bright red critical marker would light up. She opened her inventory. The starting inventory contained 8 slots, and identical items could stack up to 999 units. Everything matched her previous experience. Suyao changed her default ID to Sumuja, the same name she had used last time. She wanted the constant reminder of all the suffering she endured to stay vigilant at all times. To test her luck in this new life, she picked up her fishing rod after updating her ID. Practice was the only way to find out the truth. The moment her hook sank into the seawater, notification chimes began ringing nonstop. Suyao realized she had forgotten to mute chat alerts. Fishing was monotonous work, so she opened the public chat channel to pass the time and silence the notifications. Lines of messages flooded the screen, all sent by unfamiliar player IDs. Player 007234? What's going on? I was eating at my dining table, and suddenly there's seawater everywhere under my feet. My raft is barely palm-sized. I'm going to sink. Help. Lusiming. What the hell is this place? I was scrolling short videos. Where have I been transported? Player 108976. I was delivering takeout. I'll get fined for late orders. Daily fortune. Friendly reminder. You can change your ID. Rename yourselves so you can find friends from real life easily. Building supplier Wong. How can you all chat casually? Haven't you read the announcement? This is a real-life survival game. Banana toast, we're doomed. I've never been on a boat. I feel nauseous already. Bikini Bottom Bandit, lie flat on your raft and don't stare at the waves. Watching the sky eases seasickness. Mother of 2, my children are still at home. Why force me into this game? Can anyone log out? Is there official customer service? I want to go home. Jiangsu, Li Jiajia, are you there? It's Jiangsu. Send me a friend request if you see this. Wang Jingyi, Mom, Dad, it's Jingyi. Message me if you see this. I'm so scared. Fourfold curse. This must be a script. The special effects look realistic. I'm waiting for rescue teams to show up. Don't pretend this is an end-of-world ocean survival scenario. Moonbuddy, finally us novel fans get to play a survival game. Just wait. I'm going to conquer everything. Qing Yan, why do pregnant women also have to join this survival game? Is there any humanity left? Big Nong bread, unbelievable. I grew up in northern frontier lands and only saw the ocean once on vacation. How am I supposed to survive here? Horseman, same here. If it's a survival game, can we switch maps? Highway survival sounds way better than ocean survival. Big Nong bread, Horseman, add me as a friend bro. Our IDs look like a couple's usernames haha. Horseman, I'm straight, no thanks. The chat channel grew busier by the second, filled with people searching for loved ones, complaints, and jokes. Yet not a single familiar ID appeared. This truly was a different timeline. Many players remained trapped in panic, ignoring the system prompts. Suyao knew time was precious. She closed the chat channel and focused on fishing. The first 3 days were critical. Once the newbie phase ended, crate spawn rates would drop sharply. Some unlucky players would wait weeks without hooking a single crate, and any chests they caught might only hold worthless junk. She knew this all too well. She had been that unlucky player last time. During her previous newbie phase, Suyao had been deployed to a glacial sea zone. Crates were scarce, and nearly every chest she opened was empty. In contrast, players blessed with extraordinary luck gained abundant resources in the newbie phase, building a powerful foundation for survival once the protection period ended. One early advantage snowballed into lasting dominance. Suyao had no time to waste typing messages to strangers. She needed to catch as many crates as possible. Time ticked onward. She sat motionless, as if in meditation, waiting for a bite. She also carefully observed the surrounding waters. With her new server assignment, the system had placed her in a warm sea zone. Dressed in simple trousers and a thin top, she felt no chill. As she scanned her surroundings, the fishing rod twitched. A fish had taken the bait. Suyao slowly reeled the line in, hauling a palm-sized fish patterned with yellow and black above the waves. The system notification chimed immediately. Ding! Congratulations, you have caught one rare cardinal fish. Rare cardinal fish, a species native to coral reefs. Unsuitable as staple food, may be exchanged for game coins later. The moment she read the name, Suyao understood her luck might have shifted for the better. This was wonderful news. She had been placed in temperate waters. Warm sea zones were far more habitable for humans and teemed with marine life. Cardinal fish could only thrive among tropical coral reefs. Environmental conditions during the newbie protection period closely mirrored those on Blue Planet, so the starting sea zone determined everything. Last time, she had spawned near glaciers. Massive icebergs surrounded her raft. She suffered terribly from the cold, and fish were extremely hard to catch. On the third day of her previous newbie phase, she only caught one small fish, which was stolen by a seal. As Suya recalled these bitter memories, a system announcement echoed across all ocean regions. Congratulations to Huagua player Sumuja. You are the first player across all ocean survival servers to successfully catch a fish, unlocking the deep-sea angling gameplay. Special rewards, limited title, King Angler, Advanced Newbie Gift Box ×1. What are you waiting for? Everyone, try fishing. When the announcement appeared, Xiao froze with her mouth agape. Could rebirth truly rewrite fate? Had her terrible luck been flipped into extraordinary fortune? She had claimed the first global achievement just like that. Where were all the powerful veteran players from her past life? Meanwhile, players across every zone of the ocean survival game erupted into shock upon hearing the announcement. Chat channels in all Huagua servers buzzed with questions. Incredible! Who is this Sumuja? Come out and say something. Zone 222's public chat was equally chaotic. Whoa, a global server announcement. Which zone is Sumuja from? First place belongs to someone from our nation. Sumuja brings honor to Huagua. Brother Sumuja, are you in this zone? How did you get the global first clear? Speak up. That limited title from the system must have special effects. I bet it boosts fishing success rates. Hey everyone, go fishing right away. I confirmed catching a fish gives a newbie gift box, though mine was only a regular one. Upon hearing that fishing yielded gift boxes, players who had been chatting abandoned their conversations and grabbed their fishing gear. Xiao let out a quiet breath of relief. Thankfully, the system still withheld players' own information, just as it had in her previous life. She knew the danger of possessing rare treasures. She feared powerful players would hunt her down if her location was revealed. Now that she had gotten off to an exceptional start, she had to maximize this advantage. She needed to gather supplies and upgrade her raft to withstand the extreme temperature marine disaster arriving 3 days later. She glanced at her vessel. The raft spanned roughly 5 square meters with zero shelter. Ocean disasters were endlessly perilous. Storms, torrential rain, hail, towering waves, thick fog, and countless other threats. A tiny uncovered raft could never withstand massive ocean tempests. A Tier 1 raft would barely survive a direct hit from large waves. Suyao's top priority was upgrading her vessel, aiming to reach Tier 3 before the official survival phase began. Her mind raced to formulate plans while her hands kept working. She retrieved a plastic bucket from her spatial pendant and placed the cardinal fish inside. Though vibrantly colored, the fish tasted awful. It had minimal meat and countless tiny bones, valued only as ornamental fish by aquatic hobbyists. With her spatial storage, Xiao did not need to force herself to eat such catches. She had grown sick of fish in her past life. She planned to avoid eating them unless absolutely necessary. Just then, the newbie rewards arrived via in-game mail. Xiao first checked the title. Title: King Angler Permanently Bound, while equipped, increases crate drop chance during fishing by 50. A spark lit up Xiao's eyes. This reward was far more valuable than premium fishing equipment. If the system had given a physical fishing rod, other players would covet it and attempt robbery. But bound titles belonged solely to the player and could never be stolen. The boosted crate spawn chance made this title overwhelmingly powerful. Within the ocean survival game, crates represented rare supplies and enormous opportunities. A 50% increase in crate spawns meant she could pull far ahead of ordinary players and secure a high rank on the end-of-month leaderboards. She was thoroughly satisfied with this reward. Next came the advanced newbie gift box, an ornately wrapped container. Suyao lifted the lid with her fingertips and the system prompt refreshed. Obtain supplies, lumber ×50, bottled purified water ×5, whole wheat compressed bread ×5, of a rank profession card ×1. Lumber and drinking water were essential early game resources. However, the faint golden glow of the A-rank profession card made the corners of her mouth lift uncontrollably. All items within the ocean survival game were graded. Ranks ascended from F up to A. Rumors circulated of an even rarer S-rank tier above A. The spatial pendant she owned in her previous life was merely a rank minus, demonstrating how valuable A-rank items truly were. Word spread that unlocking a unique occupation with an occupation card brought incomparable advantages. She only knew the most popular job was artisan. Constructing and refitting vehicles would consume over 20% fewer materials. and artisans could independently craft special tools unavailable through the system. In her previous playthrough, half a year after launch and multiple server merges, fewer than 100 players in her region had unlocked occupations. To receive such a rare item as a newbie reward far exceeded all her expectations. Without the slightest hesitation, she tapped the A-grade occupation card. A soft curtain of light unfolded across her vision, displaying 12 occupation cards etched with distinct patterns, neatly arranged. System prompt: please select your exclusive occupation. It cannot be altered without special items. Staring at 12 vastly different development paths, Suyao fell into hesitation for a moment. Fortunately, brief explanations accompanied each occupation option. Fisher: receive 1 squid fishing rod, fish bite rate plus 20, treasure chest spawn chance plus 5. Artisan: receive 1 basic workbench, crafting material consumption reduced by 20. Gatherer: backpack capacity plus 5 slots, resource drop rate plus 20. Highlights resources within 1 nautical mile. Chef: receive 1 basic cooking station, chance of acquiring food plus 15. Meteorologist: predict upcoming natural disasters in advance, displays weather conditions within 5 nautical miles on the map. Beast Tamer: improved affinity with marine life, able to form a contract with 1 small marine creature. Farmer: receive 4 plots of fertile soil, crop growth speed plus 10, harvest yield plus 10. Pharmacist: receive compendium of marine medicine and 1 medicine crafting station. Sailor: receive 1 nautical compass, chance of obtaining island maps plus 5. Maritime Merchant: receive 1 temporary stall, marketplace transaction fees reduced by 20. Streamer: unlock personal live broadcast channel, players on the same server can watch and send support gifts. Diver: receive 1 diving suit, swimming speed plus 30, underwater endurance duration plus 100. Suyao did not rush to choose. She quickly pondered over the 12 options. She had been terribly unlucky in her last run and never obtained an occupation card, yet she had heard rumors regarding these professions. Fisher was the most common choice among players. Aside from catching fish, the boost to treasure chest odds was its biggest draw. To many players, this perk was extremely tempting. Still, Suyao ruled Fisher out immediately. She already held the title King of Anglers. The extra 5 treasure chest chance from Fisher paled in comparison to her title's 50% bonus. On top of that, she possessed portable storage space, so she would not run out of food and water anytime soon. Maritime Merchant and Streamer were special occupations offering plenty of benefits, especially for players seeking to build influence. These 2 jobs could shine brilliantly for outgoing, sociable players. But Suyao preferred a quiet pregnancy and did not wish to draw public attention, so she eliminated both options. Chef, meteorologist, beast tamer, farmer, sailor, and diver were all solid professions, yet they would offer little help to Suyao during the initial survival phase. Only artisan and gatherer remained, and she wavered between the 2. An artisan would let her build boats rapidly in the early game. A gatherer would speed up resource collection. Suyao lowered her gaze, settled on the artisan icon, and tapped it firmly. Her primary goal was to safely give birth to her child. As an artisan, she could construct a large, sturdy, defensible vessel. It would withstand natural disasters and defend against raids from other players. Most importantly, she planned to build a sterile birthing room aboard the ship. Once her baby was born, the space could be converted into a nursery. Truth be told, before entering the game, Suyao's family, while not an elite upper-class clan, had always ensured she wanted for nothing. Her mother and grandmother spoiled her throughout her childhood. When she grew older, Suyao took charge of the family enterprise. Her affluent life freed her from trivial chores, leaving her lacking practical life skills. She could not cook or handle household work well. When the last survival game began, she was overwhelmed by panic. The meals she made tasted dreadful, and living aboard a cramped raft tormented her constantly. Late each night, Suyao would shed tears, longing for home. No one would have guessed that someone who struggled with basic daily tasks in the real world would end up trapped in a survival game. The wealth her grandmother and mother had built to grant her a comfortable life proved completely useless in these harsh oceanic lands. On the day she died in her previous life, she faced robbery alongside a frigid blizzard, which accelerated her demise. A wise person learns from hardship. This time, Suyao chose artisan, capable of crafting a robust mobile fortress. She believed this was the most sensible choice available. Congratulations! You have become an artisan. You gain initial skills thrifty crafting and rapid repair. Level up by utilizing occupation skills to unlock higher artisan ranks. After the system notification sounded, Suyao noticed no server-wide announcement in public chat, nor any alerts for other players receiving rewards. Evidently, being the first to unlock an occupation came with no bonus. She equipped her King of Anglers title and resumed sea fishing. Her priority now was to upgrade her vessel as quickly as possible. The newbie gift pack already contained 50 planks. Upgrading to a Tier 2 vessel required 10 ropes and 10 iron nails more. She stared out at the crystal-clear seawater and colorful coral reefs beneath the waves. Dipping her hand into the ocean, she felt its warm temperature. Suyao surmised she was located near the meeting point of the Pacific and Indian Oceans, in waters close to Indonesia. 100,000 players had been scattered randomly across the region, and few spawned in such resource-rich seas. Only small tropical fish took her bait afterward. She placed all of them into her bucket without complaint. Time slipped by. The sun grew hotter, yet she caught no treasure chests. Suyao was about to stand up, pack her gear and eat, when she spotted a treasure chest leaning against a blue coral reef below the surface. She had searched endlessly for chests, and now one rested among the coral. In her past life, she had fished treasure chests from the sea and encountered floating ones upon the waves, but she had never known chests could be hidden on coral formations. If she had realized how many hidden surprises this game held, she would not have wasted hours fishing blindly. The water was transparent, so Suyao tested the distance with her fishing rod. Her 2-meter rod could not reach the coral reef. She retrieved a diving suit from her storage space. As a wealthy young woman, she had picked up various odd hobbies in her spare time, and diving was one of them. She had deliberately brought her diving equipment when she re-entered the game. After putting on the suit, she tied a rope to her tiny raft to prevent it from drifting away. Then she plunged into the water and slowly dove downward. The reef looked close from the raft, yet she needed to swim more than 10 meters to reach it. The ocean played tricks on the eye. Even when the water appeared shallow and clear, depths could be deceptive. A moment of carelessness could lead to drowning. As she neared the coral, small fish darted away from her path. The chest was crafted from raw timber with yellow metal edging. It had sat underwater for some time, coated in patches of green algae and appearing worn. Suyao quickly lifted the chest and scanned her surroundings. Sunlight filtered through the water, painting the underwater landscape in vivid hues. She had no leisure to admire the scenery. Her mind remained fixed on treasure chests. She watched carefully for more containers nearby. Sure enough, upon turning around, she spotted another chest beneath a separate coral formation. Shortly afterward, 2 more chests came into view on the pale sandy seabed. Suyao felt a surge of joy. Her limited edition title truly delivered on its promise. Unfortunately, game rules prohibited placing chests directly into her backpack or portable storage. She reasoned the game was designed to force players to endure survival hardships and challenges. Suyao only had 2 hands, enough to carry 2 chests at a time. She had to shuttle repeatedly between the raft and the seabed to transport them. Once each chest was hauled onto the raft, she opened them while catching her breath. Obtained plank ×1, cable ×1, mineral water ×1. Obtained iron nail ×1. Opening chests depended entirely on luck. She was satisfied every chest held supplies she needed. She did not rush to dismantle the empty chests immediately. Instead, she used them as makeshift storage containers on the raft. Suyao hesitated before diving again. Trauma from being robbed in her previous life made her extremely cautious. She pulled out binoculars from storage and scanned the surrounding waters. Confirming no other players were nearby, she descended once more. After multiple trips, she recovered 6 chests from this stretch of seabed and stacked them on her raft, leaving them unopened for the moment. Near midday, Suyao decided to rest, eat lunch, and organize her supplies. Sitting atop one wooden chest, she took a carton of milk, 2 shrimp and vegetable rice balls, a chunk of marinated beef, and a juicy peach out of storage. Even pre-packaged meals tasted far better than the bread and mineral water provided by the game. Diving throughout the morning had exhausted her, and the food was hardly excessive. She needed sustenance to keep working. Suyao ate every last bite without waste. Next came the chest opening. She unlocked all 6 remaining containers. Altogether, she gained 6 planks, 6 iron nails, 5 cables, 3 bottles of mineral water, and 2 loaves of bread. All 8 chests she recovered that day contained loot, none empty. Looking at the pile of empty treasure chests stacked on her small raft, Suyao selected to dismantle all of them. Wooden chest dismantled successfully. Obtained plank times 8, iron nail times 8. Her inventory now held plank times 65, iron nail times 15, cable times 6, mineral water times 9, whole wheat bread times 7. She only required 4 more cables to upgrade to a Tier 2 vessel. Excitement welled up inside her. She immediately opened the chat channel to search for potential trading partners. Thanks to the global system announcements, most players focused on fishing and hunting for treasure chests, yet world chat remained bustling. It's sweltering. I haven't found a single chest in hours, and I'm dying of thirst. Lucky me, I pulled 3 chests and got 2 bottles of mineral water. I only found 1 chest after ages, and it just had a plank inside, no food at all. I have a yellowtail fish. We'll trade for 1 bottle of mineral water. Message me if interested. I have physical fitness training photos to share. 1 bottle of mineral water. Send me a private message. Can I see them if I'm not a girl? Nope, stay away guys. Report the player named Wanjo above. There might be underage players in this game. We should keep the community wholesome. The player with ID Wanjo was the one offering photos in exchange for drinking water. Some treated it as entertainment, while others condemned him as someone begging for resources online. Sia scrolled calmly through messages, waiting for suitable trade offers. A line flashed past quickly, yet she caught sight of it. Ching'en, I'm freezing. I haven't caught anything all morning. Is there anyone kind enough to spare some food? I'm pregnant, please. The message instantly reminded Xiao of her past self, stranded in frigid ocean waters while carrying a child. She had been completely isolated, surrounded by endless dark blue sea, with no one to turn to for help. No one had been willing to lend a hand. Xiao paused for 2 seconds before opening the profile of the player named Ching'en. The holographic panel only displayed the ID Ching'en and gender female, with 3 options below: private message, add friend, trade. Other personal details were hidden by default, and players could choose to conceal their gender as well. Suyao had hidden her own gender. After appearing in the global server announcement, most players assumed she was male. Since so many people already held that belief, Suyao saw no reason to correct them and attract trouble. She sent a private message to Ching'en. Would you like whole wheat bread and mineral water? After sending the message, Suyao returned to hunting for trading partners. Soon she spotted a player with ID Immortal Aspirant seeking to trade cables for planks. Trading cables for planks. Send offers via private message. Suyao messaged him right away, 8 planks for 4 cables. Immortal Aspirant, deal, let's open the trade window. Suyao initiated a trade request with Immortal Aspirant and placed 8 planks into the trade slot. Only after the other party added 4 cables did Suyao confirm the transaction. Fortunately, the survival game protected player trades. The system would intervene if someone attempted fraud. Anyone caught scamming would face double resource confiscation as punishment. Lost goods could always be recovered. After several hours of exploration, experienced players had posted guides and helpful tips circulated constantly in chat. Once the trade finished, she closed the chat channel eagerly. Suyao opened her vessel interface to begin the upgrade. Consume the following materials to upgrade your vessel. Plank times 50 requirements met, cable times 10 requirements met, iron nail times 10 requirements met. Suyao selected confirm without hesitation. Due to your artisan occupation, you receive a material rebate, plank times 5, cable times 1, iron nail times 1. A soft glow suddenly wrapped the entire raft, lifting Suyao off its surface temporarily. After roughly 10 seconds, the light faded, revealing a larger raft floating on the sea. Suyao was gently lowered back onto its deck. The raft expanded from 5 square meters to 10 square meters. Its timbers were reinforced, and a simple wooden shelter had been added. It was a plain, humble shack, barely enough to shelter occupants from wind and rain. Congratulations! Your vessel has been upgraded to Tier 2 reinforced raft. Size: 10 square meters. Durability: 200 new features. 1 storage chest, 1 basic rest chamber restores stamina movement speed plus 10. Xiao nodded in satisfaction. Even as a Tier 2 vessel, she could set up her mattress inside the shelter and enjoy proper sleep at night. As she admired her new home, a system announcement echoed across the ocean once more. Congratulations to player Su Muja, the first on the entire server to upgrade to a Tier 2 vessel. Rewards: Limited Title Navigator, Intermediate Vessel Material Pack ×1, Silver Treasure Chest ×1. All players are encouraged to improve their ocean survival capabilities. Another global announcement. Suya had only wanted to upgrade her raft so she could rest at noon. She never expected to claim another first-place record. While she stood stunned, the chat channel erupted. Sumusha strikes again. Is this player using cheats? 2 server announcements in a single day. Top angler, first to upgrade vessel. What record will they break next? I've only collected 4 materials for a tier 2 raft. Comparing myself to this person is disheartening. At that moment, the player with ID Immortal Aspirant posted a message. Sumusha is from Region 222. They traded cables with me just now. His comment acted like a spark, igniting intense activity in Region 222's chat. Why didn't you mention this sooner? Did you send a friend request? What? Sumusha is in our Region 222. They're the top player for the whole server. Immortal Aspirant. I didn't dare add them. I didn't realize who they were until the announcement popped up. You missed your chance. Send the request now before it's too late. Amid the amazement from Region 222 players, dissenting voices also appeared. Fourfold curse. Humph. Being first on the server means nothing. The newbie phase hasn't even ended. Once the official game begins, they'll be targeted by everyone. As chat buzzed with activity, Suyao received a private message notification. Ching'en, yes please, thank you. I will repay you once I catch treasure chests. Thank you so much. Sumusha, alright, open the trade window. After transferring the supplies to Ching'en, Suyao saw 2 pending friend requests. One came from Ching'en, the other from Immortal Aspirant. Suyao had never spoken in public chat, so other players could not send her friend requests. Only these 2 people, whom she had messaged privately, were able to extend invitations. Suyao accepted both without overthinking. Even as friends, her hidden personal information remained invisible to others. Neither new friend immediately bombarded her with small talk or begged for resources. Suyao appreciated this comfortable, mature social boundary between players. Closing the holographic interface, she quickly claimed the rewards granted by the system. Limited edition title, Navigator. Equipped effect, vessel movement speed at C+10, vessel damage sustained during extreme weather reduced by 10. Passive ability, fog coverage area reduced by an additional 20. She let out a quiet breath. Another limited title. Was she some kind of title wholesaler? Despite her playful inner complaint, the stats on Navigator were outstanding. If hostile players or raiders chased her, faster vessel speed could let her escape danger. The damage reduction during extreme weather would prove useful in 2 days' time. If her memory served her correctly, shortly after the newbie phase ended, the first major natural disaster, a violent storm, would strike the ocean at midnight. Countless players on Tier 1 rafts watched their vessels break apart amid towering waves and heavy rainfall. Some drowned after losing their raft, others fell victim to aggressive marine creatures. The passive fog reduction bonus would also grow extremely valuable in later stages of the game. She then opened the intermediate vessel material pack, and its contents made her eyes light up. Congratulations on receiving Cypress times 10, Chinese fur times 10, pine times 10, tongue oil times 20, iron nails times 50, cable times 50. Wow. The game had just rewarded her with more than half of the materials needed to upgrade a Tier 3 vehicle. Truly, getting ahead early lets you stay ahead. Xiao finally understood why those top-ranked players always clung to first place. Rewards handed out directly by the system were already enough to outpace 99% of all players. Xiao quickly checked the materials required to upgrade to a Tier 3 vehicle. Fishing boat Tier 3 vehicle required materials: timber, 21/100ths iron nails, 50/50ths cable, 20/20ths pine wood, 10/10ths tongue oil, 10/10ths waterproof cloth, 0/10ths. Judging by this, she only needed another 80 pieces of ordinary timber and 10 pieces of waterproof cloth to complete the Tier 3 vehicle upgrade. Xiao planned to gather all remaining supplies within 3 days and finish the upgrade before the official launch of the game. Once the game officially began, her Tier 3 vehicle would withstand the dangers even if violent storms swept across the ocean. Besides that, the workbench granted by the craftsman occupation was placed behind her wooden shed. She still held one silver treasure chest and decided to open it after nightfall. Glancing at the time, it was exactly 1 o'clock in the afternoon. She pulled out her binoculars and scanned the surrounding waters. There were no other players in sight. She resolved to take an afternoon nap. Nothing mattered more than sleep. She took a mattress out of her spatial storage and laid it inside the crude wooden hut. She also fetched her bedsheet, cooling quilt, and pillow to make a proper bed. After setting an alarm on the holographic interface, she lay down and quickly drifted off to sleep. The sea was calm and bright. The raft drifted slowly along the ocean current, rocking only gently. The subtle sway felt just like a cradle, lulling Su Yao into a deep slumber. Meanwhile, the only two friends on Su Muja's friend list, Qing'an and Lai Immortal, were far from relaxed. Lai Immortal in particular. Ever since he mentioned in the public chat that he had traded with Su Muja, countless players who admired powerful figures sent him friend requests. Every single message was an attempt to dig up information about the server's top player, Su Muja. Buddy, can you introduce me to the top-ranked player? I'm the CEO of a listed corporation in City B. Lai Immortal, are you there? Could I get a friend slot? I'm a popular livestream host known for my looks. Photo. Staring at the flood of private messages, Lai Immortal rubbed his forehead helplessly. He regretted speaking out. Now he was swarmed with inquiries. Annoyed, he turned on Do Not Disturb for messages from strangers and ignored everyone. After a moment's hesitation, however, he still clicked open the photos sent by several young women to have a look. They'd sent the photos voluntarily. There was no harm in glancing at them, right? As for Qing'an, she had also seen the game announcement and all the chatter about Su Muja in the World Chat channel. She never imagined the person who had helped her and given her food would actually be the #1 player across the whole server. Qing'an was 5 months pregnant and still suffered from morning sickness. She hadn't gotten the chance to eat before entering the game. After being thrown into this strange ocean world, she was terrified at first. Once the initial shock faded, overwhelming hunger set in. Half a day passed, and she couldn't catch even a single fish, let alone mineral water or edible supplies. Just as despair closed in on her, a kind stranger offered her food and drinking water. What surprised her most of all was that this stranger turned out to be the server's top player. After receiving the supplies, Qing'an quietly followed the chat channels. She also saw Lai Immortal claiming to know Su Muja. Qing'an scoffed at such behavior. What was his motive for revealing information about Su Muja? Unlike him, even after receiving help from Su Muja, she would never spread gossip to other players. After the chaos early in the morning, humanity on Blue Planet surprisingly adapted rapidly to this ocean survival game. While Su Yao slept soundly and other players busied themselves fishing and retrieving treasure chests, the familiar voice of a worldwide announcement echoed once again. Congratulations to player Gio de Mai from Huagua for becoming the first player on the entire server to hunt a mysterious marine creature. Rewards: Limited Title, Hunter, Intermediate Weapon chest ×1, Silver Treasure chest ×1. All players are encouraged to strive for greater progress and improve your ocean survival capabilities. Players who had been drowsy instantly jolted awake. Everyone from Region 222 rushed to open the chat channel. What? Who is this Gio de Mai? Another first-place record. Where's Su Muja? Su Muja, wake up. Someone just stole your all-server first record. Yeah, Su Muja, are you keeping up? Your top spot has been taken. Quit the unnecessary pressure. There are 100,000 players in our region. It's totally normal for someone else to claim a first-place reward. Stop hounding the top player. Happy emoji. Has anyone noticed all these first-place achievements belong to players from Huagua? Everyone keep pushing. Let's grab all the top rewards. Where'd you get that emoji? A selfie, hee. While everyone chatted excitedly, the Su Muja they were discussing remained fast asleep. Su Yao was the kind of person extremely hard to rouse once she fell asleep. Her alarm went off repeatedly, yet failed to wake her. Naturally, she missed this global announcement entirely. She only woke up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. She opened the holographic panel and smacked her forehead. She had overslept. She quickly drank some water, pulled on her wetsuit, and prepared to dive into the sea to hunt for treasure chests. She also missed all the discussions about Gio de Mai unfolding in the chat channels. This stretch of ocean was practically a treasure trove. The sea was filled with gentle small fish and sea turtles, with no vicious marine predators anywhere to be seen. Seeing daylight starting to fade, Su Yao decided to retrieve the last 2 chests and call it a day. At that moment, 2 gray creatures swam up beside her and nudged the crate she was holding. Caught off guard, Su Yao stepped back in surprise. When she calmed down and took a closer look, she realized they were 2 bottlenose dolphins, a mother and her calf. Dolphins were highly social marine creatures, widely recognized as friendly to humans. They loved pushing objects with their rostrums. Presumably, seeing her struggling to carry the treasure chest, The dolphin mother and calf had come over to lend a hand. Xiao gratefully accepted their help, and the final 2 crates were hauled up onto the raft. Perhaps because she was also expecting a child, Xiao felt a special fondness for the dolphin pair. After climbing back onto her raft, she spoke to the dolphins in the water. "Thank you. Would you like some fish?" Without waiting for a response, she tipped the bucket of fish into the sea. The young dolphin immediately darted forward, wagging its tail, and swallowed a fish whole. The mother dolphin hung back behind her calf, waiting patiently until the youngster finished eating before taking food for herself. "That's all I have. Thank you so much. It's going to get dark soon. I have things to get done." Xiao turned away to organize her belongings and prepare dinner. She brought out her portable gas stove and snow pan, poured in 2 bottles of mineral water, 1 can of mixed congee with 8 grains, and 2 eggs. While waiting for the food to heat up, Xiao opened the silver treasure chest she had received from the system earlier that day. A flash of silver light lit up her raft. "Congratulations on obtaining a grade occupation advancement manuscript ×1. Inventory expansion card ×1. A golden glowing box materialized plainly inside her storage space. Its radiance drew her full attention, making her overlook the inventory expansion card entirely. Whoa, another grade item. In her previous life, she had risked life and limb just to obtain a single B-grade item, discovered inside a secret realm. Now that she had been reborn, she had claimed an all-server first-place reward right away, followed by 2 high-tier items in quick succession. Could she have become blessed with unparalleled luck? A wide grin spread across Suyao's face. She could barely wait to open the box. Suddenly, a system notification popped up. "Cannot open. Requires a grade occupation advancement manuscript key." Typical of this tricky game, she knew it wouldn't let her obtain such valuable things easily. Suyao pulled the manuscript box out of her storage. Sure enough, a small lock hung on the wooden casing, carved with the words, "Occupation Advancement Manuscript." Intricate floral and bird patterns covered the box's surface, an obvious sign of its immense value. Since it was labeled Occupation, it must connect closely to the occupation card she had drawn that morning. Suya had read plenty of novels and played many games during her school years. She ventured a guess. The 12 occupations listed publicly, fisher, craftsman, and the rest, were only the starting tier. There existed higher stages far beyond the reach of ordinary players. She suspected the occupation card acted as an entry pass, while the occupation advancement manuscript in her possession was the core item needed to break through occupation limits and unlock advanced tiers. There was no way for her to acquire an A-grade key anytime soon, so Suyao stowed the manuscript safely inside her spatial storage. She then activated the inventory expansion card. Her inventory space expanded to 16 slots, giving her plenty of room to store newly acquired materials. Next, she opened the 6 remaining wooden treasure chests. Without exception, the wooden chests only yielded basic supplies, ordinary timber, iron nails, rope, and similar goods. Waterproof cloth, iron nails, and tung oil dropped rarely. Aside from mineral water and bread, she also found dried chicken and dried beef among the loot. Once all supplies were sorted, the congee and eggs were ready to eat. As Suyao prepared her meal, she sent a trade request to Qing'an. "Qing'an, thank you. I caught a sardine this afternoon. Would you like it?" Sensing Qing'an's limited resources, Suyao simply replied, "Send the trade request." Moments later the trade window appeared. Xiao placed 1 bottle of mineral water, 1 loaf of bread, and 1 pack of dried chicken on her side. Qing'an offered a single sardine in exchange. Once the trade completed, thinking about how they were both pregnant women, Xiao could not resist sending a warning. "Sumuja, extreme temperature weather, a natural disaster, will strike in 2 days. Gather materials and upgrade your raft as soon as possible." Several seconds passed before the reply arrived. "Qing'an, got it. Thank you so much, Senior Su. I'll work hard to upgrade my raft." Su Yao could only help her this much. Whether Qing'an survived the coming storm in 2 days would depend entirely on her own ability. This survival game was no casual pastime. Every round eliminated vast numbers of players. If Su Yao offered excessive aid, she would only erode Qing'an's will to survive. That would be blind compassion. Although she owned a spatial storage, she would never reveal the stockpiled food hidden within it to others. She would only share supplies she had obtained from survival treasure chests. Night fell. After a brief wash-up, Xiao took nutritional supplements essential for pregnant women. She then tallied up her resources. Thanks to the system rewards, she now only needed another 74 pieces of timber and 9 pieces of waterproof cloth to complete the Tier 3 vehicle upgrade. She decided to try purchasing some materials from other players first. She opened the chat channel, which remained bustling with activity. I'm drifting alone on this endless ocean. It's so lonely. Anyone looking for a partner to team up with? I'm starving. I only fished out 1 loaf of bread today. Trading mineral water for 2 loaves of bread. Message me if interested. Right then, a plain message appeared in the channel. Sumuja, buying timber and waterproof cloth. 3 timber for 1 loaf of bread or 1 bottle of mineral water. 1 piece of waterproof cloth for 1 pack of dried meat. After posting the message, Suyao lay back down on her mattress. The chat channel had been filled with scattered conversations, yet as soon as Sumuja's message appeared, the entire lobby erupted. Oh my goodness. Was that Sumuja speaking just now? Aya. What? Has Sumuja logged on? Where is he? Wow. It's true. The number 1 player has appeared. Sumuja, can I get a friend slot? Everyone stop spamming. Sumuja is buying timber and waterproof cloth. Sumuja is waterproof cloth material for upgrading to a Tier 3 vehicle. I'd love some dried meat, but I don't have any waterproof cloth to trade, sigh. Shortly after posting, Suyao's private message inbox began flashing nonstop. Fortunately, she had wisely turned on Do Not Disturb. Otherwise, constant notifications would have kept ringing. She filtered out all players who only wanted to chat and befriend her, alongside those hoping to receive supplies without offering anything in return. Only messages offering legitimate trades remained. Banana French Toast, Senior Sue, can I trade 12 timber for 2 loaves of bread and 2 bottles of mineral water? Sumuja, send the trade request. After the trade concluded, Banana French Toast sent a friend request. Senior, could I get added as your friend? Suyao ignored the message and declined the friend request. She moved on to the next potential trading partner. Then another message popped up. Jen Daijin, may I ask what kind of dried meat you have? Sumuja, dried chicken and dried beef available. Jen Daijin, 1 waterproof cloth for 1 pack of dried beef. The player sent a trade request immediately, which Suyao quickly accepted. Most subsequent inquiries concerned timber. Very few players had waterproof cloth to offer. Some sharp-witted players had likely deduced how valuable waterproof cloth was from Suyao's post. As a result, they chose to hold onto their stock. Suyao continued trading to collect materials for around half an hour before stopping. As a pregnant woman, she needed to maintain an early bedtime routine. She would resume gathering supplies tomorrow. Proper rest was necessary to stay healthy. What Suyao did not know was that long after she finished trading, the chat channel continued buzzing with discussions centered on her. Banana French Toast, Senior Sue didn't accept my friend request, but she actually replied to me. Banana, is Sumuja male or female? How old are they? Banana French Toast, don't call me Banana, call me French Toast. The senior's personal information is hidden. Judging from the messages, I'm guessing they're a tough man. Haha, I knew Sumuja must be a man. Our fellow Huagua players are incredible. French Toast, you couldn't even get a friend request accepted. What a letdown. Banana French Toast, what's your problem? The senior declining my request just means I have more room to improve. Has anyone here managed to add Sumuja as a friend? At that point, several bitter remarks began to surface. Brother Chang, can everyone stop hyping them up? They only got 2 all-server first-place rewards. I don't believe they can keep winning every time. Angel Investor, exactly. They're supposedly the top player from our region, yet wouldn't spare a single loaf of bread for me. Acting far too arrogant. The chat channel remained active with conversations well into midnight. At 5 o'clock in the early morning, faint light spilled over the ocean as Suyao woke on schedule. Still half asleep, she momentarily thought she was trapped inside the previous cycle of the game. When she saw the mattress and bedding beneath her, she gradually realized she had successfully been reborn. After this rebirth, she had unexpectedly claimed 2 all-server first-place achievements. She still lacked experience compared to her previous life, especially regarding the occupation system, an area she had never explored at all. She would have to feel her way forward. After a simple breakfast, she inspected the workbench granted by her craftsman occupation. As a novice craftsman, she could craft basic tools, brazier, iron pot, wooden bowls, axes, waterproof cloth, lighting lamps, high-carbon fishing rods, wetsuits, raincoats, fishing nets, and other supplies essential for ocean survival. She could also craft daily necessities including toothbrushes, toothpaste, soap, wooden beds, and storage cabinets. Su Yao's eyes lit up. She had visions of earning abundant resources until she saw the crafting material requirements and her hopes sank. Waterproof cloth, which she desperately needed, required plastic, and plastic could only be obtained from islands containing oil deposits. Braziers and iron pots, items that could bring her great advantages, needed iron ore. Iron ore could not be acquired merely by fishing. She would need to venture onto land and explore islands. Good heavens! No matter what happened, she would have to search for islands. Her dream of striking it rich in this survival game would have to wait temporarily. Su Yao scanned her surroundings. Areas dense with coral reefs usually contained numerous islands. If her guess was correct, islands must exist somewhere nearby. As Su Yao pondered, ripples appeared around her raft. A series of squeaks drew her gaze. The mother dolphin and her calf from the previous day were circling her vehicle. Su Yao smiled and waved. "Good morning, friends." In response, the dolphins flicked their tails. Since her aquatic visitors had come to see her, Su Yao fed the sardine Qing'an had traded her to the young dolphin. Sardines were nutrient-rich, one of dolphins' favorite foods. The calf swallowed the fish without hesitation. Su Yao quickly pulled on her wetsuit, ready to dive and hunt for treasure chests for the day. The dolphin pair had watched her retrieve chests yesterday. As soon as Su Yao slipped into the water, they eagerly led her toward where more crates lay. Su Yao could not swim nearly as fast as the mother dolphin. The young dolphin swam beside her, eager to push her forward. The mother dolphin had been leading the way ahead, but when she saw the calf nudging Su Yao's stomach, she spun around immediately and squeaked sharply at her youngster, driving the calf away from Su Yao's side. The young dolphin let out a mournful whine, looking thoroughly dejected. Observing their interaction, Su Yao understood instantly. The mother dolphin had sensed her pregnancy. She feared her calf might accidentally hurt the baby inside Su Yao's belly. Su Yao quickly waved her hands to reassure the mother dolphin. The calf's gentle nudges had only brushed against her hip. Following this brief interlude, the three of them reached the seabed, where 3 treasure chests came into view. Su Yao had learned her lesson. Before diving, she fastened a belt threaded with several lengths of rope, allowing her to tow multiple crates at once. She secured ropes to all 3 chests, freeing her hands for swimming upward. While Su Yao worked to surface, the dolphin mother and calf also helped push the treasure crates upward. By the end of that early morning expedition, she had retrieved 11 chests in total, 7 wooden treasure chests and 4 iron treasure chests. The dolphin pair stayed with her for 2 whole hours. Su Yao felt deeply touched. She quickly sent a private message to Qing'an. "Su Muzha, do you have any more sardines? I'll trade jerky, bread, apples, and mineral water for them." Less than a minute later, a reply popped up. "Qing'an, sure. Big shot Su, I'll mail them to you right away." She directly sent 10 sardines to Su Yao via the mail system. Staring at the large batch of sardines, Su Yao froze for a moment before slowly typing. "Su Muzha, things are looking up for you now?" Qing'an, yep. Early this morning, seals were hunting schools of sardines on the sea surface. I was nearby, and the sardines jumped straight onto my raft. "These are for you. Thanks for looking out for me yesterday, Big Shot Su." Su Yao knew that nobody had cooking tools at this stage, and Qing'an was pregnant. She couldn't eat raw fish. She sent over more food she'd obtained from treasure chests. "Su Muzha, I've mailed some supplies to you. Remember to check your inbox. Try not to eat raw fish." Qing'an, got it. Thanks for the supplies, Big Shot. Su Yao closed the chat window and took out all 10 sardines to feed the mother dolphin and her calf, who'd helped her a great deal today. There were plenty of fish this time, so the mother dolphin could finally enjoy a hearty meal. Su Yao took off her wetsuit and sat casually on the raft to rest, letting her mind wander. Watching the dolphins feed, she felt an unusual sense of peace. Once they finished eating, the mother dolphin called out twice toward Su Yao before swimming away with her young. Su Yao smiled toward their retreating figures. "Wow, are you two working for me? Collect your payment and off you go." After speaking, she turned her attention to opening treasure chests. The loot from day 2 of the survival game was noticeably better than day 1. Wooden chests could now yield ordinary fruits such as apples and oranges. Her 4 iron chests rewarded her with 3 waterproof tarps, 4 sheets of polyethylene plastic, 5 iron ores, plus 2 green blueprints, one for a simple crafting table and another for an iron basin. As a craftsman by class, Xiao already possessed an inbuilt crafting workstation. She could craft both items without the blueprints, so she planned to sell the blueprints to gather more materials. Opening her inventory, she saw she only needed 5 more waterproof tarps to upgrade her vehicle to Tier 3. Without hesitation, she posted a trade message. Sumuja, 1x simple crafting table blueprint, 1x iron basin blueprint. Seeking waterproof tarps, polyethylene plastic, iron ore, bring large quantities. It was midday when most players were busy surviving. Many fished while casually scrolling the public chat channel for entertainment. Sumuja's message instantly caused a stir. Whoa! What even is the crafting table blueprint Big Shot Su has? I have iron ore. 2 pieces of iron ore, Big Shot Sumuja, will this work? I bet the crafting table lets you make all kinds of tools. Shame I don't have any of these materials. Ugh, I'm still stuck in the primitive era while the big shots are moving into industrial age. It's not fair. Chat messages flooded the screen following Sumuja's post. Several powerful players immediately sent her private messages. Babel Tower, I have 5 iron ores. Can I trade them for the crafting table blueprint? Sumuja, not enough. 5 iron ores can get you the iron basin blueprint. Babel Tower, then what's your asking price for the crafting table? Sumuja, 5 waterproof tarps, 5 polyethylene sheets, 5 iron ores. Babel Tower, can you make it cheaper, Big Shot? It's tough for regular players to gather all those items. Xiao glanced at the message and tugged the corner of her mouth into a faint smile, choosing not to reply right away. It was clear Babel Tower held extra supplies. She would leave him waiting for a while. Xiao moved on to check other private messages. To her surprise, Lai Xianban also messaged her. Big Shot, I want to buy the iron basin blueprint so I can cook proper meals. My raft almost caught fire trying to cook over open flames. I've attached a screenshot of my inventory. See if anything catches your eye. Image.jpg. Lai Xianban had good luck. He'd gotten up early to salvage treasure chests. He'd obtained the simple crafting table blueprint himself from a chest. But after constructing the table, he discovered he needed separate blueprints to craft individual items. He'd cursed this flawed game dozens of times that morning until he spotted Sumuja's trade post. Unlocking the iron basin blueprint would let him take on crafting jobs and earn supplies. So he wasted no time messaging Xiao. Xiao opened the image and spotted exactly what she needed: 3 waterproof tarps and 2 polyethylene sheets. Sumuja, let's complete the trade. Send over 3 waterproof tarps and 2 polyethylene sheets. Lai Xianban, deal. Once the trade went through, Xiao continued sorting incoming private messages. Babel Tower was growing impatient, spamming her inbox. Please reply, Big Shot. I only have 2 polyethylene sheets. I really can't meet your price. Sumuja, if you have 15 total materials, make up the rest with waterproof tarps and iron ore. Babel Tower, alright, that works. 2 polyethylene sheets, 5 waterproof tarps, 8 iron ores. Does this satisfy your requirements? Sumuja, initiate the trade. The second the trade concluded, Xiao opened the vehicle upgrade panel. She now possessed every required material. A prompt popped up: upgrade to Tier 3 vehicle, sturdy wooden vessel. Yes, congratulations. You have upgraded to Tier 3 vehicle, sturdy wooden vessel. Your craftsman class bonus returns excess materials to your inventory. Dimensions: 20 square meters durability, 300 new additions, 3 storage crates, 1 trawl net, early warning system, soundproof rest cabin movement speed plus 20. As Suyao examined her vessel's stats, a global system announcement boomed across the ocean for the first time in a full day. Congratulations to player Sumuja, the first player worldwide to upgrade to a Tier 3 vehicle. Rewards granted: limited title, Navigator, Advanced Vehicle Material Pack ×1, Silver Treasure Chest ×1. We encourage all players to keep improving their ocean survival capabilities. Every player in the survival game heard that familiar name and fell into shock. Who exactly was Sumuja? How were they claiming another world-first achievement? Top players from all servers who had been preparing to upgrade their vehicles to Tier 3 groaned, knowing they had lost the race by a narrow margin. Which server is Sumuja on? It's only day 2 of the beginner phase and they already have a Tier 3 vehicle. I'm furious. I haven't even gathered materials for Tier 2 yet. Is Sumuja a paying player? How do they keep hitting every milestone first? Be precise, not every milestone. They weren't the first in last night's announcement. Sumuja still claimed both vehicle upgrade world records. Has anyone seen another player's name on a vehicle announcement? The public chat of server 222 painted a completely different picture. Big Shot Su is unstoppable. They're far ahead of everyone else. Server 222 is the best. Wow! Our Big Shot Su took another global first. I suspect this is a worldwide survival game. I haven't spotted foreign players in any announcements yet. Su Muja for the win. They bring so much honor to our server. Of course it's Su Muja. I'm proud to share a server with them. You are proud. You are proud. Lai Xian Ban, proud. I contributed materials for Big Shot Su's world first upgrade. Babel Tower, proud. I contributed materials for Big Shot Su's world first upgrade. Can everyone stop copying the same line? Can everyone stop copying the same line? Amid the excitement, a few discordant voices emerged. Xiangzi Go, the announcement never said they're from server 222. Why are you all hyping yourselves up for nothing? Qing'an, the jealousy here is overwhelming. Banana French Toast, every time an announcement about Big Shot Su comes out, jealous Xiangzi Gu appears. Isn't that basically being a hater? As other players lightly teased Xiangzi Gu, he flew into a rage. Are you all lackeys of Su Muja? Why do you fawn over them nonstop? Qing'an, he's being hostile, everyone. Let's report Xiangzi Gu. Just as Xiangzi Gu prepared to fire back at Qing'an, the system muted him for 24 hours. The argument was cut short. Fuming, Xiangzi Gu threw his fishing rod onto his raft. Meanwhile, Xiao paid no attention to the commotion in the global chat. Her raft was gone, replaced by a proper 20-square-meter wooden vessel. The ship was substantial, 5 meters long and 4 meters wide. Its deck was split into forward and rear sections, with a lower hold beneath. The forward deck was spacious, centered around a mast as thick as a bull. An off-white sail hung from it, fluttering loudly in the sea breeze. Low wooden railings lined both sides of the deck, reaching roughly waist height for Su Yao. Every timber surface was coated in waterproof tung oil, smooth and glossy. Turning toward the stern lay the rear deck, the living area dominated by the cabin. The cabin roof curved gently upward, topped with waterproof tarps that blended naturally with the vessel. Inside the cabin, the space measured less than 6 square meters, fitted with a wooden window for ventilation. A system-supplied navigation screen hung on the wall, alongside a single bed, writing desk and storage cabinet. Xiao nodded in satisfaction. Even severe storms would not strip away the safety this enclosed vessel provided. Presumably knowing most players lacked sailing experience, the ocean survival game discarded traditional ship controls. Tier 3 vehicles unlocked a basic intelligent navigation system. This simple automated system only maintained heading, speed, and hazard alerts. More advanced functionality required further vehicle upgrades. Behind the rest cabin sat a semi-open workshop leading straight to the stern. The lower hold offered more room, roughly 10 square meters, large enough to live in. However, Su Yao disliked cramped enclosed spaces, so she planned to use it solely for storage. Her vehicle finally looked like a proper seafaring craft, no longer just an exposed wooden raft. She felt immense relief having upgraded to Tier 3 before the first extreme temperature weather arrived. Activating automatic navigation, Su Yao inspected her newly awarded loot. The rewards followed the usual pattern. Her title upgraded from Voyager to Navigator, with noticeably improved attributes. Limited title: Navigator equipped effects, sea movement speed plus 20, vehicle damage taken during extreme weather reduced by 20, passive ability, fog visibility range expanded by an additional 30. Su Yao sighed after reading the stats. Each title upgrade boosted every effect by 10 percentage points. Truly typical for this survival game. With this new title, her old Tier 2 title was effectively obsolete. If she claimed the Tier 4 vehicle world record, the next title would surely be even stronger. She only wished titles could be traded. After her brief reflection, Su Yao opened the vehicle panel to check Tier 4 upgrade requirements. Though she had anticipated high costs, the quantity of premium timber and supplies needed shocked her. Constructing the keel and deck required 200 oak planks, hull panels needed 100 cedar planks and 100 cypress planks, a staggering amount. Most critically, Tier 4 vehicle upgrades demanded microchips. These items could not drop from ordinary chests and were only obtainable through competitive dungeons or secret realms. Official gameplay had not yet begun, so there was no rush to collect microchips. Thankfully, the advanced material pack from her reward supplied abundant resources. Obtained: oak times 50, cedar times 50, cypress times 50, rubber times 50, iron ore times 100, polyethylene times 100, waterproof tarp times 100. In her previous playthrough, she had spent 6 months just reaching Tier 3, a pace incomparable to her current progress. Suyao vaguely recalled rumors from her past life before she died. Players claimed the highest tier vehicle anyone had seen was Tier 5, an enormous seagoing vessel. As she fell into reminiscence, familiar squeaking sounds drifted across the waves. She walked to the ship's rail and spotted the mother dolphin and calf. Suyao waved excitedly. "Hey, you're back. Look, isn't my new ship beautiful?" The dolphins circled the vessel, popping their heads above the water repeatedly. After inspecting the ship, the young dolphin wagged its tail and chirped, seemingly voicing its approval. Suyao laughed, then pulled on her wetsuit to follow the dolphins into the sea. 5 p.m., Day 3 of Ocean Survival. 7 hours remained until the official launch of the Ocean Survival game. Many players had grown complacent amid the calm of the beginner phase. Some chose to relax, others had stockpiled large reserves of supplies thanks to good fortune. A few even found companionship within the game. Everyone pursued different goals. Ding! The Ocean Survival game has officially descended. Unfortunately, most players remained unaware that mortal danger loomed on the horizon. Suyao was already making preparations for the coming storm. Having lived through one playthrough, she knew this storm system would last roughly 20 days. Torrential rain and mountainous waves would trap players aboard their vehicles, leaving them nearly unable to complete any tasks. Worst of all, treasure chest spawn rates would plummet. Anyone failing to stockpile supplies over these 3 days would be left at the mercy of fate. Beyond the threat of hunger, temperatures would drop sharply. Prolonged exposure to rain caused hypothermia, which could prove fatal without proper warmth. Suyao had prepared extensively. Alongside her iron basin for heating, she retrieved quilts and windproof waterproof outerwear from her storage space. If the storm intensified, she planned to shelter inside the cabin. Her vessel came equipped with a trawl net, letting her gather seafood automatically without constant fishing. Evening arrived. Suyao was checking the waterproof tarps on deck when the dolphin pair visited once more. Before she could greet them, the mother dolphin leaped powerfully, launching a purple object onto her ship. Thud. A sound like stone striking would echoed out. A small purple conch landed at Suyao's feet. The conch was less than half the size of her palm, tinted iris purple with faint shimmering veining. It glowed beautifully under the sunlight. Suyao stared in surprise toward the dolphins. "Did you bring this for me, mother dolphin?" Before she could examine it closely, the system notification chimed. "You have gained the trust of the dolphin clan and received their gift, Iris Conch Grade B. Blowing the iris conch summons dolphins from surrounding waters to assist you." Suyao's eyes widened as she looked out at the dolphin pair. Over 3 days together, Suyao already considered the mother and calf her friends. She traded for buckets of sardines daily to feed them in return for their help. She never imagined receiving a special token from the Dolphin Clan on the eve of official gameplay. In her previous life, she had heard tales of marine creature tokens, rare special items only granted to players who built deep bonds with ocean wildlife. Few players dared display the tokens they obtained. One survivor who showed off a seal token was robbed and killed the very next day. These artifacts were immensely valuable. The deck sat quite high above the water, but Suyao had modified her ship that morning to add a retractable boarding platform level with the waves. She lowered the platform, knelt down and leaned over to interact with her friends. "Thank you, I love this gift." She dipped her hand into the seawater and gently stroked the young dolphin's head. As if sensing her emotions, the calf let out soft squeaks. Suyao fed the last bucket of sardines to the dolphins as a farewell offering. "This is all I have left. The system will undergo maintenance tonight, and I may drift far from these waters. I hope we meet again someday." The mother dolphin seemed to understand. It waved its tail and let out a long, resonant call, nudging her fingers with its rostrum before turning to lead the calf toward the open deep sea. Suyao stood on the boarding platform and watched them leave, lingering there for a long time before turning back. Back on deck, she opened her inventory to read the Iris Conch details. Iris Conch Grade B. Token of the Dolphin Clan. Blow the conch to summon dolphins within a 10 nautical mile radius for assistance. Available support: treasure chest scouting, repelling hostile creatures, maritime rescue. Cooldown: 24 hours. The Iris Conch was an incredible treasure. Dolphins were among the ocean's most intelligent, empathetic creatures. From her time with this mother and calf, she knew they could understand simple human intentions. According to the item description, treasure scouting alone made it priceless, not to mention protection against threats and rescue support. If hostile players or pirates attacked, she only needed to blow the conch to summon nearby dolphins to aid her. Suya had struck an incredible bargain. 8 p.m. sharp. A system announcement echoed over all seas. Good evening, survivors. In 4 hours midnight, Survival Calendar Day 4, the Ocean Survival game will undergo a major version update. The following features will unlock upon completion. System Marketplace. Exchange points for rare supplies, tools, and vehicle attachments. Player Trading Post. List and purchase resources freely. The system guarantees secure transactions. After the update, gameplay enters its official phase. Starting on Survival Calendar Day 4, natural disasters will occur randomly every month. Storms, tidal surges, extreme temperatures, and more, testing every survivor's limits. Survivors who remain alive for 7 days Survival Calendar Day 11 will automatically unlock the first competitive mission. The global leaderboard will reset, and rare rewards will be distributed based on mission performance. We encourage active participation. All survivors must reinforce your vehicles, stockpile fresh water and food, and prepare for incoming disasters before the update begins. Do not leave your vehicle during maintenance. The announcement contained so much new information that every player froze. Even the noisy public chat channel fell silent. Once the official announcement finished, the chat channel erupted completely. What? 4 hours from now? Damn, I've found absolutely nothing out on this stretch of ocean. It's too late, isn't it? Can I still catch fish and loot treasure chests right now? I've spent the past few days focusing on dating. What's the mall? Is it just another pay-to-win scheme? Wait a second. Shouldn't we all be worrying about the natural disaster first? How severe exactly is this disaster going to be? Hey veterans, can a basic Tier 1 vehicle survive the disaster? Don't get your hopes up. Use these next 4 hours to upgrade your vehicle as soon as you can. I've got a Tier 2 vehicle. Should be enough to get through it, right? While everyone discussed the announcement, Suya headed down to the cabin on the lower deck. There were 2 rooms down below. She had converted one into a gym, furnished with yoga mats and dumbbells. She had brought all these fitness supplies over from the real world. The other room served as a renovated washroom, containing only a sink, a toilet, and a wooden bathtub. None of the plumbing was connected to fresh water, so they were practically unusable for the time being. She could only wipe herself down simply using bottled mineral water. After finishing her daily fitness routine, Suyao decided to treat herself. She pulled a large bucket of purified water out of her spatial storage, heated part of it, and mixed it with cold water. Lying in the wooden tub, Suyao gently rested a hand on her abdomen, savoring this rare moment of peace. Having survived a brush with death once before, she had grown far stronger. Even knowing a massive storm would arrive the next day, Suyao felt no trace of fear. Just as she relaxed in the bath, a notification chime suddenly sounded. It was the private message alert. Suyao opened the holographic screen. Qing'an, good evening, Master Su. I have a question. Is it worthwhile to upgrade my Tier 1 vehicle to Tier 2 right now? Suyao did not reply immediately. She stepped out of the tub, wrapped herself in a bathrobe, thought for a moment, and chose to offer her some sincere advice. Su Muja, it's necessary. The open sea is nothing like land. You'd best upgrade to Tier 2. Qing'an replied at once. All right, I'll follow your advice. Su Muja, are you short of any materials? The reply came slower than usual, as if Qing'an felt embarrassed. Qing'an, I still need 5 logs and 2 iron nails. Without hesitation, Suyao mailed the materials to Qing'an. Qing'an, thank you so much, Master Su. I've received them. Su Muja, don't mention it. Sardine helped me greatly, so you deserve this support. Reading the conversation on the screen, Qing'an's eyes grew moist. Without Su Muja's assistance over these 3 days, she would likely have starved to death already. Though she could fish from her raft, she could never bring herself to eat raw fish. When trapped in a survival situation, a person lives on willpower. Once that will fades, there is no hope left. And Qing'an's will to keep going was sustained entirely by Su Muja. The two of them had barely exchanged many words, yet Su Muja sent her food every single day without fail. Even the father of her child had never done so much for her. It would be a lie to say she was not deeply grateful. Staring at her newly upgraded Tier 2 vehicle, Qing'an secretly resolved that she would stand firmly by Master Su's side and offer her full support from then on. As time ticked by, Xiao lay down on her bed. She equipped the title Navigator, Its effect of reducing vehicle damage by 20 during extreme weather would be extremely useful. Before sleeping, she browsed the public chat channel to unwind. Wanzhou. Does any lady want to take me in? I don't eat much. Photo.jpg. Qiangzi, Wano, have you no self-respect? Can't you fend for yourself? Banana French toast. Well, look who it is, Qiangzi. Got released from trouble that quickly? Qiangzi, Banana, what's your problem? Why do you always pick on me? Babel Tower, selling braziers. 5 iron ore each. If the coming disaster is an extreme cold snap, these braziers will be invaluable. Listed immortal, same here, selling braziers. 5 iron ore or 5 waterproof tarpaulins apiece. Works for heating and cooking. Limited stock, first come first served. Quadruple Curse Slayer, are you certain the disaster will be extreme cold? Where'd you get that rumor? Babel Tower, hey man, don't jump to conclusions. I'm just selling braziers, don't pin anything on me. Listed immortal, right, the system said the disaster type is random. Green Robe White Steed, I suggest everyone upgrade to Tier 2 vehicles. Tier 1 craft have far too little ability to withstand crises. Looking over the chat messages, Su Yao knew better than to reveal specifics about the upcoming disaster to anyone. She had reincarnated into a different server this time, so she could not confirm if the disaster would unfold exactly as it had in her past life. If it really was a violent storm on the way, even Tier 2 vehicles might not survive its onslaught. In her previous life, she had been perpetually unlucky. She never caught anything while fishing, let alone gathered materials to build a Tier 2 craft. She had only survived the storm because ocean currents swept her raft onto the shores of a penguin island. She huddled among a flock of penguins to stay warm. The penguins treated her as one of their own, diving into the sea to catch fish and tossing them to her. She gathered driftwood to roast fish to eat, no longer bothered by the fish having been in the penguins' mouths. Thinking back on those days was truly difficult. Lost in her memories, Su Yao slipped earplugs in and drifted off to sleep. The clock struck midnight and the system announcement echoed across the entire ocean. System upgrade in progress. Chat and trading functions temporarily disabled. Once the upgrade completes, the first natural disaster, the storm, will descend immediately. All players are advised to reinforce their vehicles and stock up on supplies in advance. At the mention of a storm, every player frowned. Those who had failed to upgrade their vehicles groaned in despair. Players with Tier 2 or Tier 3 vehicles quickly retrieved waterproof tarpaulins from their inventories to prepare for the coming tempest. At 2 o'clock in the early morning, every vehicle on the ocean lifted off the water for a split second before being relocated to unfamiliar waters. The system voice spoke once more. System upgrade complete. The official phase of ocean survival has begun. Chat, trading, and other functions restored. The system mall is now online. New features including the trading post and forum have been unlocked. Natural disaster emergency alert. The first disaster, the storm, will make landfall in 30 seconds. May every player live to see the dawn after the tempest. It was 2 in the morning. Many players were jolted awake by the alert. Some stared in stunned confusion, while others had stayed up anxiously waiting. Su Yao, however, remained sound asleep aboard her vessel. The chat channel flared into activity again. I'm doomed. I only have an open-air Tier 1 raft. What am I supposed to do? Urgent. Looking to buy waterproof tarpaulins. Name your price. Before players could exchange many more messages, the previously calm sea seemed churned by an invisible giant hand. The wind did not build gradually. It crashed down all at once, with no transition. Every floating object and player vehicle swayed violently amid towering waves. The star-dusted sky vanished, swallowed by pitch-black darkness. Faint lightning flickered within the heavy storm clouds. The next instant, a bolt of lightning split the sky. Moments later, rain poured down like seawater overturned from the heavens, slamming hard against vessel decks. The noise resembled stones hammering planks. The deafening roar woke Su Yao from her sleep. Ignoring the violent rocking of her ship, she hurried out of bed, got dressed, pulled on a raincoat, grabbed a flashlight, and opened the cabin door. Su Yao had heavily modified her Tier 3 boat with an elaborate drainage system, so the torrential rain posed no immediate threat. She dared not walk back and forth in the downpour and only stood in the cabin doorway. Hurricane winds raised colossal waves, lifting the ocean into towering liquid mountains. These massive walls of water surged toward her craft from all directions. Boom! Su Yao quickly shut the door, unable to bear watching any longer. Yao knew this was merely the beginning. It was past 2 in the morning, and she resolved to try to rest again. Nothing mattered more than her own health and protecting the child growing inside her. Sleeping proved difficult amid the rolling, raging ocean. Yao coped better than most thanks to past experience. But players experiencing their first ocean storm suffered terribly. They were overcome with crippling seasickness, many retching violently. Owners of Tier 1 rafts endured the worst of all. A single wave swept some players straight into the sea. If they managed to swim back to their raft, another massive surge would smash the flimsy wooden craft to pieces. Stranded survivors clung to broken driftwood, adrift on open water. Within just a few hours, the player count dropped from over 99,000 to roughly 95,000. More than 4,000 players had lost their lives. Others teetered on the brink of death. Players who had fallen overboard flooded the chat channel with pleas for help. Can anyone rescue me? Here's my coordinate location. Help! My raft broke apart. I'm begging for assistance. We have the top-ranked player on our server. At Sumuja, can you come save us? We're all from the same server, you can't just abandon us. Right? Sumuja owns a Tier 3 craft. Could she take stranded players aboard temporarily? She's the server's strongest player, not a fool. Why would she risk herself to help strangers for nothing? Wake up, this is a survival game. Instead of hoping for a hero, think about what resources you can offer to bargain for aid. I have 10 iron ore and 2 bronze treasure chests. I'll trade them for someone to pull me out of the water. The chat channel had transformed entirely. Panic, helplessness, and despair saturated the platform. Yet the hardships of the game were only just starting. Some opportunistic players lurked in the shadows, using shared coordinates to hunt other survivors. Casualties from player hunts would go unnoticed amid the losses caused by the storm. Around 5 o'clock in the morning, a player posted an accusation in the World Chat channel. Quadruple Curse Slayer, how can you prey on survivors in their hour of need? What's going on? Spill the details. As widespread anxiety spread, another player clarified the situation. Warning: certain players are hunting others. Do not share your coordinates publicly. At 7 o'clock in the morning, Yao was roused by the vibration of her bedside alarm. She opened her eyes and pulled back the cabin curtain. The sky outside remained deeply dark, with only a faint pale glow on the horizon marking daytime. From the water pooling on her deck, she could tell the rainfall had weakened slightly since midnight. Yao got up and opened her holographic interface to check the updates. Many new system functions had been added. The system mall refreshed one random item each week. This rotation stock was waterproof tarpaulins, priced at 20 game coins apiece. Players earned game coins by selling resources to the system. Rarer materials fetched higher values. The survival game's core goal was not profit, but maintaining an ecological balance among survivors. For that reason, selling waterproof tarpaulins back to the system only yielded 15 coins. Under ordinary circumstances, few players would buy supplies from the mall. What most players did not know was that purchasing enough goods from the regular mall unlocked a higher tier point mall, stocked with truly precious items, such as the 9 revitalization elixir, capable of saving a player's life. There were also system blind boxes available for 100 points each. Blind boxes contained various rare supplies and had a chance to drop the 9 revitalization elixir, though rewards depended purely on luck. The trading post operated as expected, created to simplify player transactions. Survivors could trade goods directly or exchange items for game coins, with fairly flexible rules. There was also a public forum where players shared survival tips and personal experiences. A trending post topped the forum for Region 222. Yao clicked it open. Quadruple Curse Slayer and others are hunting stranded players. Everyone stay vigilant. The post included screenshots of the earlier chat channel arguments, alongside blurry photos of Quadruple Curse Slayer captured by a survivor who had narrowly escaped him. Other hunters were named in additional attachments. Thousands of replies flooded the thread. Some condemned these players as ruthless and immoral. Others held a different view, arguing competition between survivors was inevitable in a survival world. Opinions clashed endlessly. Yao chose not to leave any comment. Her username carried too much influence. Taking one side would stir resentment among those who disagreed. Privately, she disapproved of players attacking one another. Yet, she could not afford to play the hero. She could not risk combat while carrying her child. The risk was far too great. She sighed quietly. If only she knew martial arts, she could properly defend herself and her baby. But out on the endless ocean, there was no one to teach her. She would have to wait and see what opportunities arose. Returning to the chat channel, she noticed the server population had fallen further to just over 91,000 players. Even with the experience of her past life, Xiao could not help but feel sorrow for the victims. Most people living in Huagua resided inland. A storm of this scale was utterly catastrophic for them once stranded at sea. Xiao opened her friend list and relaxed upon seeing Qing'an and listed immortal were still online. She sent Qing'an a private message first. Su Muja, how are you holding up? Are you safe? A minute passed before the reply appeared. Qing'an, I'm alive. Thank goodness I followed your advice and upgraded my raft. Otherwise I wouldn't have made it. Su Muja, do you have warm clothing? Qing'an, I bought a brazier from the trading post. It's keeping me comfortable for now. Su Muja, I can craft polyester fleece pajamas and blankets at my workbench. Would you like some? Qing'an, yes please. Thank you endlessly, Master Su. I'd never survive without you. What materials do you need me to gather? Su Muja, no materials needed. I need you to list these goods for sale on the trading post. I will pay you wages each month based on sales revenue, payable in game coins, food, or raw materials. She sent over the fleece pajamas and blankets she had crafted. Qing'an, I've received them. I'm so glad I can finally be of help to you. Please don't worry about paying me wages. Su Muja, business is business. Wages depend entirely on sales volume. I cannot guarantee steady pay if trade is slow. Qing'an, understood. To be honest, I used to work as an assistant for a live stream sales host. Leave this to me. Su Yao's eyes lit up reading the message. She had accidentally recruited someone with professional sales experience. Qing'an's background would save her a great deal of trouble. Xiao sent 10 units each of braziers, iron pots, wooden bowls, lamps, diving suits, raincoats, and fishing nets. All manufactured on her artisan crafting station. She also shared a detailed price list with Qing'an, noting prices could be moderately adjusted depending on market demand, but never set below production cost. Qing'an, rest assured, boss, I understand fully. After sorting out arrangements with Qing'an, Su Yao felt a weight lift from her shoulders. She pulled on her raincoat and inspected her vessel from bow to stern. Fortunately, the craft had sustained no damage. She suspected both its high tier and the damage reduction bonus from her navigator title had kept it intact. Standing on the deck, she hauled in her fishing net. It held various fish alongside several treasure chests, all basic wooden ones. Suddenly, Su Yao remembered she still held a silver treasure chest awarded by the system that she had not opened yet. She headed down to the lower deck washroom and splashed cold water on her face. It was her long-held superstition before opening chests. Washing her face washed away bad luck, boosting her chances of valuable loot. She had obtained an advancement scroll from her last silver chest, and hoped this time she would find the key required to unlock it. A system prompt popped up. Open silver treasure chest? Su Yao selected yes. Congratulations. Obtained. Unknown Trinity Stone ×1, Illusory Sea Disguise Mask Grade A ×1, Oak Log ×50, Fir Log ×50, Cypress Log ×50. Could washing her face before looting actually work? She had drawn another Grade A item, incredible luck. Su Yao had deliberately saved the silver chest to open once the official game phase launched. Much like gacha games, newly activated game phases offered higher odds of top-tier rewards, and sure enough, she had acquired a Grade A treasure. She took out the disguise mask. It was crafted from smooth, ultra-thin animal hide. The system had expanded item descriptions following the upgrade. Item name: Illusory Sea Disguise Mask Grade A. Category: Disguise Prop. Durability: 50-51 durability consumed per use. Reparable. Function: once worn, the user can freely alter their facial features and body build. Each transformation lasts 12 hours. Modifications to appearance can only be made during the cooldown window. Cooldown: 12 hours. Usage restrictions: users must preset their desired appearance before transforming. There is a chance of detection if scanned by Grade A or higher detection props. The disguise effect will be forcibly dispelled once seen through. Hidden trait locked. Collect 4 Grade A disguise masks to synthesize the Grade S item, Face Shifter. Su Yao was already astonished upon seeing the stats of the disguise mask. Her jaw dropped when she read the locked hidden trait at the bottom. No way. It can be synthesized into a Grade S item? But gathering 4 identical Grade A items, was the game deliberately making things hard for her? Not to mention loot boxes usually yield random rewards. What if another player gets a disguise mask? If they refuse to sell it, would she have to steal it? Or she might get robbed by another player holding the same mask. Xiao let out a cold huff. Was the game stoking competition among players to make them slaughter each other without lifting a finger? This game was truly ruthless. Still, the Grade A disguise mask would be a huge help to Xiao. In 7 days' competition, she could disguise herself as another person. Even later, once her pregnancy became obvious, she could still conceal her identity when encountering others. This item arrived at the perfect moment. Xiao stowed the mask away and checked the second item she had obtained. Item name: 3 divine stones unknown. Category: unknown. Durability: unknown. Function description: none. 3 rows marked unknown lined up neatly on the light screen, like 3 tightly sealed doors. Xiao frowned. It was not unheard of to receive unknown items from loot boxes, yet they usually came with labels such as requires appraisal or quest item. She had barely seen any item this cryptic in her past life, with 0 extra information provided. She took the stone out of her inventory and clutched it in her palm. It fit perfectly in her hand, rough and cold to the touch, resembling a pebble worn smooth by centuries of ocean waves. When she held it up to the glow of the brazier and tilted it slightly, a faint dark green glow seeped out from deep within the stone. It was not reflected light. The radiance originated from its core, as if something slumbered inside. Xiao turned it over repeatedly and brought it close to her nose to sniff. No scent, no abnormal temperature, nothing out of the ordinary. What on earth is this? She muttered. She was about to store the stone back in her inventory for later research when a sudden warmth spread across her neck. Xiao jerked her head down and saw her spherical necklace glowing. This necklace was blue amber, a spatial item she had acquired in her previous life. It held all the supplies she had stockpiled in the real world. Miraculously, it was glowing right now. Before Xiao could react, the clasp connecting the silver chain to the spherical pendant popped open automatically. The thin silver chain slipped silently onto her knees. The blue glass sphere broke free from the chain and slowly levitated. It rose to eye level, paused for less than half a second, then drifted steadily toward the stone in her palm, pulled by an invisible force. Xiao held her breath in shock. The blue glass sphere hovered roughly 1 centimeter above the 3 divine stones and slowly descended. The instant they made contact, a blinding burst of light erupted. The flash nearly blinded her. As she squeezed her eyes shut, the 2 objects fused together. When she opened her eyes again, the blue glass sphere and the 3 divine stones were both gone. Resting in her hand was a new sphere swirled with blue and green hues. Whoa, no! My spatial item! Did I lose all my supplies? She exclaimed. Xiao rarely swore, but the resources stored in her space were her lifeline. Losing those vital supplies would be catastrophic. Panicked, she tried to access her storage space with her consciousness. The moment her mind touched the sphere suddenly flew toward the inner side of her arm and sank into her skin. Hey, come back out. As soon as the words left her mouth, the blue pendant emerged slowly from her body, as if it could understand her. She quickly reached out and grabbed the sphere. The next second, she found herself standing on the shore of an island. Xiao had no time to survey her surroundings. A massive stone came into view, carved with 2 characters, Ingzhou. Ding! Congratulations, your storage space has been upgraded. Find the special dimension Ingo Island? Xiao jumped at the sudden system notification. What? Her space had upgraded out of nowhere? And what exactly was Ingo Island? Xiao could only rely on memories from her previous life to make sense of it. Her blue amber necklace had evolved, and this island was her upgraded space. In her past life, players who owned private islands were extremely rare. They were undoubtedly top survivors in this ocean survival game. Yet what surprised her was the absence of a global system announcement. Only a private notification popped up for her. This puzzled Xiao deeply. Could it be that her necklace originated outside this cycle of the survival game, which prevented the system from broadcasting the news to all players? That would explain everything. Still, there were advantages to staying under the radar. She preferred to keep a low profile and avoid drawing unwanted attention so she could protect herself and her unborn child. She had to keep her ownership of this island a closely guarded secret. Fortunately, blue amber could hide within her body. Unless Xiao died, this dimension would never be exposed. With that thought, she selected yes. Without hesitation. Congratulations, Player Simos. You have successfully bound the private dimension, Ingo Island. No one may set foot on this island without your permission. Once the binding was confirmed, she began to observe the island carefully. This place was a world apart from the stormy, turbulent sea outside. Above stretched blue skies dotted with white clouds, and green grass carpeted the ground beneath her feet. The island was roughly the size of a school campus. Standing on the shore, she could see low rolling hills in the distance. Unknown grasses and wildflowers dotted the land in scattered clusters, as if seeds had been tossed casually by nature. Far away stood a gentle low hill covered in lush green trees. A thin stream wound its way down from the slopes, glinting silver beneath the sunlight. The landscape of hills and streams was serene and pleasant. If she recalled correctly, Yingzhou was one of the 3 sacred immortal isles from ancient Chinese records, alongside Penglai and Fenghu. Wait a moment. She suddenly realized the 3 divine stones she had found was most likely the key to unlocking this island. Her island looked nothing like the legendary descriptions of Yingzhou. There were no divine mushrooms, phoenixes, abundant aquatic plants, or ethereal mist. This land was an undeveloped primitive isle, far plainer than she had expected. No immortal fog, no mythical beasts roaming the land. Yet this untouched, natural scenery made Xiao feel calm and secure. It would be suspicious if an island came filled with endless treasures from the start. She knew all too well how stingy this game was. There was no way it would hand players easy riches from day one. As Xiao wandered and admired the scenery, she spotted a pile of goods resting on the lawn ahead. They looked oddly familiar. When she walked closer, she realized they were all her own stockpiled supplies. She hurried forward to check, relieved to find every item intact. Maternity supplies, baby gear, all kinds of food and daily necessities, not a single thing missing. Xiao let out a long breath. She would have been devastated if she had lost all these provisions. Now she was certain her space had undergone a major upgrade. It was no longer merely storage, it had transformed into an entire island. Her mind raced. Could she build houses here and plant fruits and vegetables? Her innate desire to cultivate land stirred within her. She wanted to grab a hoe and start clearing fields right away. Unfortunately, she had no farming tools at the moment. Suyao exited the dimension temporarily and brought the craftsman workbench from her boat into Ingo Island. The instant the workbench landed, a notification appeared on the light screen. Craftsman workbench detected within your bound secret realm. Construct craftsman workshop? Suyao selected yes at once. A flash of white light washed over the area, and a wooden workshop materialized moments later. Through the light screen panel, she could manage construction across the island. She immediately transplanted flowers and shrubs from the hills of Ingo Island to decorate the workshop. The bare little wooden building now carried a rustic charm. If she could build a workshop, surely she could construct a proper residence for herself. She opened the craftsman interface and confirmed that construction was available. However, building a wooden house required massive quantities of lumber. She had been able to build the workshop for free thanks to a perk of her craftsman class. Suyao grabbed an axe and headed for the hills to fell timber. The trees on her own island were there for her to use. Xiao trekked for quite a distance until she reached the foot of the hill. The crystal-clear stream came into view. She could see pebbles lining the stream bed, and nameless wildflowers bloomed along the water's edge. Xiao cupped her hands to splash water on her face. The moment the stream water touched her skin, a system alert sounded. Ding! You have discovered a viable drinking water source. Ingo Island exploration progress, 1/10. Great! The island provided fresh drinking water, so she would never need to worry about her water supply. Xiao scooped up another handful and tasted the water. It tasted crisp and subtly sweet, far better than bottled water obtained from loot boxes. From the system message, it seemed there were more undiscovered resources on Ingo Island. Would she earn rewards once exploration reached completion? Su Yao continued uphill. When she entered the woodland, the sight before her made her pause. Dense trees covered the slopes, not neatly planted forest, but wild growth of varying heights and thicknesses. Pines, oaks, and firs grew intertwined, tree trunks draped in moss and tangled vines hanging from branches. Sunlight filtered through gaps in the canopy, casting dappled shadows across the ground. System notifications chimed one after another. Ding! You have discovered timber resources available for harvesting. Ingo Island exploration progress, 2 out of 10. A smile spread across Su Yao's face. She had been worrying about materials for upgrading her raft and building housing, and now resources were right in front of her. From afar the trees had looked small, but up close they were mature, sturdy timber. Pine, oak and fir, all the varieties required for ship construction were present. Xiao planned to use pine for building her home, while reserving tougher oak and fir for upgrading her vessel. She opened the light screen and harvested the timber with a single command. Outside the dimension, a violent storm raged at sea, and living aboard her boat was deeply uncomfortable. Xiao could endure one night adrift on the ocean, but not much longer, especially with her baby growing inside her. Building a house was her top priority. She descended the hill and returned to the workshop. This stretch of land was the flattest spot on the island, backed by low hills and fed by the stream, the perfect place to build. Activating her craftsman class, she opened the construction menu. 3 options appeared immediately. The first was a simple log cabin, sufficient for basic survival and requiring fewer materials. The second was a pastoral wooden manor with a courtyard, kitchen, washroom, and underground storage room, though it demanded a large amount of lumber. The third was a 2-story high-end villa with complete facilities, but it required generators and petroleum, resources she did not possess. The third option was ideal, yet she had no way to get generator fuel. After some consideration, she narrowed her choices down to the first 2. She ruled out the basic cabin. She could not stand living without a dedicated washroom and restroom. Only the pastoral manor remained. She confirmed her choice without hesitation. Construct pastoral manor? Yes! White light enveloped the clearing, followed by the clanging sounds of construction. Xiao stepped back to avoid injury. She watched her material reserves decrease as construction proceeded. In less than 10 minutes, the white light faded away. Even though she had known what to expect, Xiao stared at the scene in awe. The pastoral courtyard spanned over 200 square meters, enclosed by low wooden fencing. The main building was her living quarters. Constructed entirely of timber coated in tung oil for waterproofing and anti-corrosion, the wood glowed softly under sunlight. A wide lawn stretched before the house, with stone paths connecting the main residence, kitchen, and workshop. To the east of the courtyard stood 2 side-by-side buildings, her kitchen and the craftsman workshop. Before Xiao could walk inside to admire everything, another system prompt sounded. Would you like to name your courtyard now? Wow. She had not even named her raft yet, and the system wanted her to name her courtyard first. Naming things had never been her strong suit. She decided to ignore the prompt for now and stepped into the main house. The layout featured 3 bedrooms and a living room. All furniture was crafted from natural timber, filling the space with a fresh woody aroma free of chemical additives, simple and pure. The living room was spacious, furnished with a wooden table and 2 chairs, and an embedded fireplace built against one wall. Windows lined the south-facing wall, letting sunlight stream inside and cast bright patches on the floor. From the table, she had an open view of the courtyard and stream. The scenery was breathtaking. Xiao teleported her stored furniture into the living room, placing sofas and floor cushions inside. She moved to the master bedroom, setting her premium mattress onto the wooden bed and dressing it with silk quilt and bedding sets. Her clothes were neatly arranged in the wardrobe. The second bedroom was prepared for her baby, furnished with a crib and all necessary infant supplies. The final room served as a study, finally offering a place to store all the books she had stockpiled. Underground storage chambers held the rest of her supplies, which she relocated using her willpower. Half a day passed by the time she finished organizing everything. Before dinner, she sent photos of her new home to Qing'an. Now that she had a kitchen, she treated herself to a bowl of beef noodles. Once her excitement faded, weariness washed over her. Too tired to check her friends' messages, she lay down in the wooden house and fell asleep. After receiving the task assigned by Sumas, Qingyan immediately set to work trading goods. She listed some supplies on the trading house and, leveraging her experience as a live stream host, sold more directly in the public chat channel. Help! I've been soaked in rain for a full day and night. Does anyone sell waterproof tarpaulin? Ugh, I haven't found a single loot box in ages. I'm dying of thirst. Anyone got bottled water to sell? Buddy, no one's finding crates right now. Drink rainwater, it's better than seawater at least. I think I've caught a cold. Anyone selling cold medicine? Or coats and blankets? I've been eating dry bread for days. I can't even use the restroom properly. This terrible game. Luckily, I was trekking a snow mountain before being transported here, so I have windproof rain gear. Otherwise, I'd be sick too. Qing'an, Ocean General Store is open. Storm survival supplies available. Brazier heating cooking, raincoat rain protection, prevents hypothermia, blanket warmth. Trade with iron ore, polyethylene, treasure chests, and other rare materials. Send private offers if interested. Limited stock. First come, first served. Less than 2 seconds after she sent the message, her private messages exploded. Whoa, how much for the raincoat? What material is it? Ching'en, do you still have blankets? I'll trade 1 copper treasure chest for a blanket. How much for a brazier? Also, is it made of iron? Ching'en could not reply to every message individually with so many inquiries. She sent a mass reply instead, brazier, for iron ore each. Blanket, 3 iron ore each. Raincoat, 2 iron ore each. Listings are live on the trading house. Message me if you wish to trade with other goods. Ching'en's business thrived, and she forgot all about seasickness. Working for Suma's drastically improved her quality of life, so she never worried about food or water. Her mood lifted, and her morning nausea vanished entirely. Suma's even sent her fruit regularly. All she needed to do was handle communications and negotiations. This was a stable opportunity, and she resolved to stick closely to Suma's. She swore she would follow Suma's every order without hesitation. Ching'en's flourishing trade drew the attention of many player merchants, especially Babel. Babel was the player who had purchased the workbench blueprint from Suma's. His workbench could only produce braziers and axes. He needed new blueprints to craft blankets and raincoats. Now that the trading house opened, countless players sold braziers and axes, flooding the market. Sellers either cut prices or struggled to make sales. When Babel saw the goods Ching'en offered, envy gnawed at him. Blankets and raincoats. They were essential supplies for every player right now. Ching'en was the only seller in the whole server with these items. Babel's jealousy flared. He typed in the public channel, "At Ching'en, where did you get the blueprints for raincoats and blankets?" Ching'en was eating lunch when she saw the message, confused. She typed back, "Where else?" From the game, obviously. Babel, a word of advice. Stop disrupting the trading market. This market isn't a place for women to do whatever they want. Ching'en rolled her eyes upon reading that and paused her meal to reply. Ching'en, who do you think you are? Do you make all the market rules? What's wrong with women? Weren't you born from a woman? Babel seethed with anger after reading her reply. He wanted to fire back with insults, but remembered the system would mute players for offensive language, so he forced himself to hold his tongue. Babel Tower at Ching'en, cat got your tongue? Back in your newbie phase, you were begging for supplies in the public chat. How is it only a few days later and you're suddenly a merchant? Who's the influential player backing you up? Spill the details. Ching'en, stop pestering me with it mentions. You're so annoying. You stick to me like glue. If you're so capable, go find yourself a powerful ally too. What's stopping you? Could it be that no one's willing to lend you a hand? Reading Ching'en's reply, Babel Tower burned with rage. He had never met such an unreasonable woman. Powerful allies are nothing special. He had chatted with Su Muja, the top-ranked player on the entire server. Didn't that count as having connections to a major powerhouse? A scheme suddenly popped into his mind. If he could win Su Muja's favor, could he use the big shot's reputation to cut off this woman's trade channels? Would she still dare to act so arrogant then? Instead of continuing the argument with Ching'en, he sent a private message straight to Su Muja. Babel Tower, Boss Su, are you looking for more followers? Could I get a friend request accepted? Meanwhile, Suya had no time to monitor the public chat. Now that she owned a private island, she'd simply settled down to live there. Her days followed a steady 2-point routine. Right now, she stood aboard her vessel, inspecting the wooden ship for leaks. Though waterproof tarpaulin was laid out and the hull coated with tung oil, it was still a wooden craft. Violent storm surges would inevitably leave damage in their wake. Ever since gaining her island, the survival game felt more like a vacation to Suyao. Whether natural disasters or harsh weather raged outside, Suyao refused to endure the hardships. She would simply retreat to her island. On top of everything, she was pregnant. Being transported into an ocean survival game was already terrible enough, and she had lived through this ordeal once before in a past life. Was it too much to ask for a calm, safe place to survive? Of course, she still kept track of developments outside. Besides maintaining her watercraft, she constantly monitored other players' activities. She had just returned to the island to prepare a meal when she caught sight of the spat between Babel Tower and Ching'en in the public chat. A cold smirk tugged at her lips as she read Babel Tower's unfounded accusations against Ching'en. Unable to compete fairly in business against a woman, he resorted to spreading baseless rumors about her connections. That was the full extent of his ability. She also saw Babel Tower's pending friend request and had no intention of acknowledging him. She could see exactly what he was plotting. He hoped to leverage her fame to gain advantages among other players. That would never happen. She would not give him that opportunity. This man sought to gain a sense of importance by targeting a woman weaker than himself. Why didn't he pick fights with other male traders? Clearly, he bullied those he perceived as vulnerable and avoided confronting anyone stronger. He dared to come crawling to rely on her for support. His scheme was so obvious she could practically hear it all the way from Mingzhou Island. Qing'an, on the other hand, left Su Yao impressed. When she had rescued Qing'an, Su Yao never expected anything in return. Seeing another pregnant woman like herself gradually regain stability filled Su Yao with genuine joy. What's more, even after becoming the target of rumors, Qing'an never revealed that Su Muzha was her backer. Su Yao grew fonder of the young woman and decided she was worth investing in and nurturing. As Qing'an's trade grew more successful, more people would undoubtedly set their sights on her. Su Yao immediately mailed a machete to her, along with a message. Su Muzha, watch out for anyone targeting you. Reach out to me right away if trouble arises. Her own vehicle was Tier 3 after all. If Qing'an ran into danger, they could flee if they could not win the fight. Moments later, a reply arrived. Qing'an, don't worry, boss. Those people only dare to run their mouths. Su Muzha, if things turn sour, only conduct trades through the exchange marketplace. Qing'an, got it, boss. Leave everything to me, you don't need to stress over this. Qing'an had finally found a sense of purpose within the game, and she would not back down just because of petty squabbles. She continued posting her trade advertisements in the public chat at regular intervals. Back on Su Yao's side, she recognized the predicament unfolding around her. Her comfortable, peaceful lifestyle had nearly made her forget how brutal this survival game truly was. The conflict involving Qing'an served as a harsh wake-up call. Without combat skills, powerful abilities, or reliable weaponry, how could she defend herself against malice from other players and NPCs? She could not afford to be pushed around like she had been in her previous life. Even though she possessed a spatial secret realm in this lifetime, she could not hide inside it forever. If Qing'an was harmed, would she be able to stand up for her? She had to find a way to grow stronger. The world was broken and battered, yet there were always people trying to mend its cracks. On the third official day of the game, a player rescue group had formed within Zone 222, the Maritime Rescue Squad. The squad pulled drowning players out of the ocean and helped others repair their rafts. They only ceased their assistance once the rescued players regained the means to survive on their own. However, the organization remained small and fragile. In this harsh environment, few players were willing to lend a helping hand. Most importantly, it was still the early phase of the game, and everyone's stockpiles of supplies remained limited. This led to resentment from players who had not received aid. Monster Gaba, this so-called Maritime Rescue Squad is useless. I've sent private messages for 2 whole days. All I get is wait some more. How much longer am I supposed to hold on? 17 of Sirius. Hello, this is 17, captain of the rescue squad. We have far too many people requesting aid right now and cannot confirm rescue times. We suggest you seek help from other players. Monster Gaba, ugh, you could have said that sooner. Don't take on tasks you don't have the capacity to complete. Zendajin, Monster Gaba, you're being ridiculous. This is a volunteer rescue group founded by players of their own free will. They don't owe you anything. Monster Gaba, don't act all high and mighty. Anyone who plays survival games knows people form factions for power. I bet this rescue squad was created with selfish motives. Brother Chang, why hasn't Su Muzha started a rescue squad? They're the top player on the whole server and earn plenty of system rewards. They must have far more resources than ordinary players. Those who can contribute ought to step up. Banana French toast. I roll emoji, excuse me? Is Su Muzha everyone's caretaker? Can't you survive without them? Qing'an, yeah, Chong. Can you make it through the game without your precious Su Muzha? Selling raincoats, waterproof tarpaulin, braziers, and blankets. Message me privately if interested. Brother Chang, iSystem notification. Player Brother Chang has violated the Ocean Survival Game Code of Conduct by sending abusive language. A 36-hour mute penalty has been issued. Further violations will extend the punishment to 48 hours. All players are asked to communicate rationally and maintain a positive community. Zendajin, ha. Chang, you'd better learn your lesson. Qing'an, serves him right. Banana French toast. Doghead emoji villains always talk themselves into trouble. Su Yao, sheltered on her island, watched this entire exchange unfold. Truthfully, she had no desire to play hero and sacrifice her supplies to save other players. She lacked the resources and spare time for that. Still, she held no ill will towards 17 and the Maritime Rescue Squad. In truth, she genuinely respected players like them. One ought to judge people by their actions, not guess at their hidden intentions, otherwise no one would pass scrutiny. Suyao closed her holographic screen and stood up to begin exercising. The first competitive instance would begin in 2 days, and she needed to prepare thoroughly. The initial instance was not mandatory. She had skipped it in her previous life. But from stories shared by other players back then, anyone who ranked within the top 100 earned generous rewards. For one thing, instance rankings and points counted directly toward monthly leaderboards. Higher placements brought more points and greater prizes. Additionally, players could obtain instance-exclusive gear and treasure chest rewards. Several participants had even looted items of grade A quality or higher. In her past life, players speculated that Aloan, the #1 player from Nation A, obtained an S-grade defensive item during this exact instance. An S-grade protective artifact. She would be lying if she said she was not tempted. So despite the risk of death within the instance, Suyao resolved to join. Thinking ahead to incoming natural disasters and future mandatory instances, she and her unborn baby would not survive unless she took this chance to fight for rewards. Thanks to her thorough preparations in this lifetime, Suyao and her child were well fed. As a result, she had suffered very few bouts of morning sickness lately. Each morning, Suyao crafted items in her island workshop and mailed finished goods to Qing'en before returning to inspect her vessel. At noon, she prepared nourishing meals using supplies she had stockpiled, choosing recipes according to her mood. After her afternoon nap, she set off to explore more of her island on foot. Suyao initially thought her island was modest in size, but it was far larger than she realized. While its main stretch was comparable to a school campus, crossing the hills revealed an extensive forest beyond. The total landmass was roughly the size of a university town. She explored a small section each day before heading back to her courtyard to train. Alongside cardio workouts, Suyao had brought a tablet from her original world. In her past life, she had suffered greatly because she lacked fighting skills. After being reborn and discovering her spatial ability, she downloaded countless instructional videos onto the tablet. The bulk of the footage covered self-defense and combat techniques. She opened a tutorial on Sonda and followed along to practice. This regular, healthy routine never made Suyao lower her guard against the dangers of the survival game. On the 6th official night of the game, Suyao first forged a dagger. Daggers were lightweight and lethal, perfectly suited to her current capabilities. Next, she crafted 2 hidden arm blades, concealed weapons that strapped to the forearm. In an emergency, they could deliver fatal wounds. However, that depended on coating the blades with deadly poison. Though Suyao could manufacture the arm blades thanks to her artisan class, she lacked the materials needed to brew poison. This drastically reduced the effectiveness of the hidden weapons. Unless the blade struck a major artery, opponents would not fall instantly. Once she finished crafting all the equipment she required, she sent 1 arm blade to Qing'en. Qing'en, wow, received it, boss. This hidden weapon looks amazing. How many coins are we selling it for? Sumuja, it's not for sale. Keep it for self-defense. Qing'en, seriously. Sumuja, just kidding. Hand it back if you don't want it. Qing'en, hehe, I was just being polite. It's mine now. A faint smile crossed Suyao's face as she read the message. She was about to close the hologram when another message popped up. Boss, the instance announcement is supposed to go live tonight. I'm nearly 6 months pregnant. Can players like me opt out of participating? Suyao thought for a moment and decided to reassure her only partner. Sumuja, based on how the game operates, instances will likely remain non-mandatory in the early phase. That's just my assessment. Qing'en, that's such a relief, thank you boss. Are you entering the instance? Sumuja, yes. Qing'en, good luck, boss. Leave all trading matters to me, don't worry about a thing. After closing the chat window, Suyao mailed all the goods she had manufactured to Qing'en. The shipment also included fruit and meat from her personal reserves. Qing'en was 6 months into her pregnancy, a critical stage where she needed plenty of balanced nutrition. Suyao would never shortchange those who stood alongside her. Qing'en received the package and did not check its contents carefully at first. She only spotted the food when she placed everything into her storage chest. 5 steaks, a carton of eggs, a juicy peach, an orange, and an entire durian. She did not question where the supplies came from. She could only marvel at how exceptional Su Muja was, the top player of the entire server. Working under her meant access to the finest food available in the game. Qing'an considered herself incredibly fortunate. In truth, Qing'an suspected Su Muja was a woman. Years navigating society had sharpened her ability to judge others. Think about it. How many powerful, unknown players would offer help without demanding favors and pay attention to whether someone eats properly? She doubted many men would act that way. Her own birth father had never treated her half so well. Someone capable of such consistent care was almost certainly a woman. Qing'an guessed Su Muja was an accomplished, independent lady, likely older than herself. Still, she had no intention of prying into Su Muja's secrets. She simply planned to stick close and rely on her powerful ally. She would never share any of Su Muja's private information with anyone else. 10 p.m., the 6th official day of the Ocean Survival Game. Public chat channel, I'm so nervous. Is the instance briefing going to be announced in a few hours? I've had enough of these ocean storms. I've been seasick for 6 straight days. I want to escape to the instance right now. Don't get your hopes up. What if the instance is also set on open water? Rumor says the fatality rate inside is higher than out on the sea. LOL. You'll die even if you skip the instance. Just look at how many players we've lost in our zone already. I'm a veteran raid leader from an MMORPG back in the real world. Looking for teammates for the instance, send friend requests. Please remember this isn't a role-playing game raid. If you die within the instance, it could mean real death. Su Yao skimmed the chat feed and closed the hologram. If her memory served her right, players would only be permitted to bring 4 items into this instance. Her first pick was the illusory Sea Disguise Mask with a customized facial structure and body shape preset. Next came the dagger and hidden arm blade, essential for self-protection. Her final choice was the Iris Conch. If she came under attack out on open waters, her pod of dolphin allies could come to her rescue. The blue amber spatial artifact resided within her body and did not need to occupy one of her 4 item slots. Once all preparations were complete, she returned to her island. Xia lay down on the bed inside her small cabin and gently stroked her barely noticeable belly. She whispered softly, "Baby, Mommy is joining a competition tomorrow. Stay safe for me." With that, she settled in and fell asleep. At 7 o'clock the following morning, system alerts echoed across the entire Ocean Survival Game. Good morning, players. The Ocean Survival Game's first instance is now open for participation. Claim abundant rewards upon victory. Instance name, Crown of Authority. Difficulty rank, Grade D. Participation rules. 1. This instance is a faction competition. Players may choose to participate or opt out voluntarily. 2. Only 4 items may be brought inside. Any extra items will be randomly removed upon entry. Players who confirm participation will be teleported randomly into the instance at 8 a.m. The instance will run for 7 days of outside game time, equivalent to 14 days within the instance. If your faction loses, all faction members will be evacuated early back to their original vessels with no additional death penalties. 4. Players who choose to stay behind will remain in their original waters, facing natural disasters and survival challenges, and will earn no instance rewards. Warning: all combat and confrontations within the instance involve genuine mortal danger. Players killed inside the instance will perish permanently. Full instance regulations will be available to players upon entry. Please confirm your participation promptly. No late signups will be accepted. Once the system announcement ended, the player base erupted into heated discussion. Players were given less than 1 hour to make their decision. The public channel flooded with debates and complaints. Good heavens! What exactly is a faction instance? I've only played 5v5 competitive matches before. Think of it like an ancient struggle for the throne. Players act as advisors to competing nobles. Pick the winning side, and you reap the rewards. Wait, does the system really mean death inside the instance is permanent? You get it now. Both NPCs and other players can kill you there. Honestly, if that's the case, I'd rather perish on my own raft. It's still worth joining. The rewards have to be amazing. I might even become the new top player on the server. Wake up. Don't start daydreaming first thing in the morning. Xiao did not join the flood of messages scrolling across the screen. She ate a simple breakfast and reinforced all protective measures on her vessel. The instance would last 7 days, and she did not want to return to a broken, battered ship. 5 minutes before teleportation, she put on the illusory sea mask. The moment the mask settled into place, her appearance shifted entirely. Her height shot from 168 centimeters to 175 centimeters. Her striking original features transformed into a cold, aloof face. With the dagger hanging at her waist, she gave off an intimidating aura no one would wish to approach. Even if her closest acquaintances stood right before her, they would not recognize her. Her height and facial features had changed drastically. The only risk remained her player ID. Su Muja's name had appeared on multiple server-wide leaderboard announcements. Other participants would be far more likely to target her because of her reputation. At exactly 8 a.m., every player who registered for the instance was enveloped in blinding white light. Before anyone could blink, they were lifted away from their vessels. The next instant, participants materialized inside the instance. Barely had the players begun observing their surroundings when the system voice spoke once more. Welcome to Grade D Instance, Crown of Authority. Please read the following regulations carefully. As the voice faded, an ornate rule document appeared in every player's hand. The system announcement continued to play. Located deep within the open ocean lies Lantis, a nation spanning 2.1 square kilometers and hailed as this planet's paradise of wealth. The elderly king has fallen gravely ill and can no longer attend to state affairs. The struggle for the throne has now begun. Players must pledge allegiance to one of the 5 royal heirs within 48 hours. Notes: 1. A banquet will be held at dusk. Players shall board the luxury superyacht nor to take part in the first round of mutual selection. Each player will receive a randomized identity. You must act in accordance with your persona. Any behavior inconsistent with your character may lead to being suspected as a spy. Once the yacht docks, any player who has not yet chosen an allegiance will be automatically eliminated. As the system's voice faded, Su Yao began observing her surroundings. It was still afternoon. The port lights remained illuminated, and several cruise ships were moored at the docks. One enormous white luxury yacht caught Su Yao's eye. The large white superyacht boasted a design of remarkable industrial aesthetics, stirring a sense of delight in anyone who laid eyes on it. The black lettering Nord emblazoned on its hull confirmed that this was the vessel she needed to board. The presence of such a lavish yacht told her this instance was set in a modern world. While she admired the vessel and pondered her next move, several people headed toward the port gate. Su Yao swept her gaze across the area. Sure enough, others stood watching just as she was. Presumably, these were the other players sharing this instance. Su Yao made no attempt to greet them. Instead, she lowered her head to check the identity sheet in her hand. Name: Su Muja. Identity: world-renowned A-list international supermodel. Skill: boost faction reputation by 100,000 points, one-time use only. Reading her identity and skill, Su Yao froze for a moment before letting out a quiet sigh. What an impressive identity, an A-list international supermodel. Her reputation was likely the highest among all participants, yet that also made her the most obvious target. Still, the role carried both clear advantages and drawbacks. As she paused to examine the document, several players began drifting closer. To be precise, they were moving toward Su Yao herself. Her striking height and outstanding looks naturally drew everyone's attention. Su Yao was considering stepping away when a voice called out to her. "Excuse me, madam. Are you heading to board the Nord?" Su Yao turned around to see a man and a woman. She glanced at them casually at first, but upon recognizing the man, she nearly lost her composure. She did not know the woman. But the man was none other than Fan Yibing, her ex-boyfriend from the real world. Memories flooded her mind in an instant, most vividly the scene of him cheating on her. She had donned a disguise mask, so he should not recognize her. Su Yao nodded expressionlessly. "I am." With that, she strode toward the Nord, showing no willingness to continue the conversation. "Hey, can you at least be polite when we're talking to you?" The woman beside Fan Yibing raised her voice and stepped forward as if to grab Su Yao. Fan Yibing quickly held her back. "Enough, don't shout. Have you forgotten the instance rules? We must stay true to our personas." The woman pouted and halted her advance. She looped her arm through his and spoke in a coquettish tone. "Understood, Brother Yibing. Let's not waste our time on someone so rude." Gradually, a crowd of players gathered before the Nord. All eyes fixed on the gigantic luxury yacht, many stunned, some even gasped. Nearly 200 meters in length, a vessel of this caliber would cost a minimum of 3 billion in her original world, custom-built from scratch. Only royal families or the wealthiest billionaires could own such a superyacht, a testament to the power of Lantis's royal house. Wealth, fortune, fame, and status were temptations for ordinary people, let alone these royal heirs raised amid endless luxury. Which of these princes would willingly submit to another? It was highly likely that the players would end up locked in bitter conflict as well. Xiao thought to herself that this D-rank instance might be far more complicated than she initially assumed. The players standing on the dock were each lost in their own thoughts. Having survived the maritime disaster in a previous instance, they maintained a degree of composure. Everyone stood silent, carefully observing one another, wary of casual conversation. There was one exception. A tall, slender male player at the center of the crowd broke the silence. He walked straight toward the only small group present. "Hey, you two, what are your occupations?" His voice carried far enough to draw every other player's gaze. The pair he addressed were Fan Yibing and his female teammate. Fortunately, the two were not foolish enough to answer directly. Fan Yibing narrowed his eyes and sized the man up, firing a question back. "What about you? Which server are you from? What's your name?" The male player smiled cheerfully. "Me? I'm Jingxian from District 13, Server 57. Say, can I team up with you too?" "No way. We don't know you. What if you get us into trouble?" "Beat it." The female teammate rejected him bluntly. Jingxian did not grow angry at the refusal. A faint smirk tugged at the corner of his mouth as he replied casually. Very well. I only wanted to make some acquaintances, no need to be so guarded." On the surface, this exchange appeared casual, yet it revealed critical information to every player watching. These two had entered the instance as a pre-formed team. There were countless servers across Wagwa. The odds of being randomly matched together were infinitesimally low. They must have used some special item to queue as a pair. Just then, a low rumble echoed from the hull of the Nord. All attention instantly shifted to the luxury yacht. A narrow seam split open along the hull, and a folding gangway slowly extended down to the dock. A middle-aged man with gray hair, dressed in a tailored tuxedo, descended the gangway with graceful bearing, followed by an attendant. People of Lantis shared features reminiscent of Europeans from Su Yao's world, and the steward's words were automatically translated so everyone could understand. "Welcome aboard the Nord. The 5 royal princes await you all on the vessel. Please follow me." After the steward spoke, murmurs rippled through the crowd on the dock. All players were citizens of Huagua, and they began to form an orderly queue. The steward's gaze swept over the crowd before locking onto Su Yao. He raised his voice in delight. "Ms. Su Muja, there is no need for you to queue. Please come with me to board ahead of the others." Players with higher personal standing often received preferential treatment from instance NPCs. But the moment the name Su Muja was spoken, every player froze. All heads turned toward the direction the steward faced. Several players quickly caught on and whispered, "That's Su Muja? I didn't expect her to be a woman." "Wow, the top player on the entire server is in the same instance as us." Su Yao frowned. She had anticipated her in-game identity would be revealed eventually, though not so soon. She suspected the steward NPC had acted intentionally, deliberately drawing hostility toward her. There was nothing she could do now that her identity was out in the open, and she did not particularly care. Since the NPC had extended the invitation, Su Yao stepped through the crowd and walked onto the gangway with long, confident strides. "This way, Miss Su." The tall attendant gestured for her to follow as they headed onto the yacht. "The first prince has specially arranged a luxury suite for you on the upper deck." Su Yao was about to step onto the vessel when a junior attendant hurried over. Seeing that Su Muja had already been received by the first prince's attendant, he sighed helplessly. "No, he's gotten to her first." Before the tall attendant could respond, the junior attendant rushed toward the dock and called out, "Daoist Jingxian? Please come this way." The tall attendant pulled his gaze away, barely concealing a trace of disdain before smoothing his expression and speaking respectfully to Su Yao. "Do not pay him any mind. He is an attendant of the second prince." As they walked, the attendant introduced the facilities of the Nord. The Nord is a world-class custom superyacht with 5 decks, capable of accommodating more than 150 guests. It features a 520-square-meter grand salon, an indoor swimming pool, a golf lounge, a bar and dining hall, a spa center, and a helipad. Only 2 invited guests are permitted to stay on the upper deck, and the first prince personally sent me to escort you aboard. The tall attendant wore an ingratiating smile. Su Yao nodded and asked calmly, "Where will those who lack permission to stay on the upper deck be housed?" "There are 12 cabins on the main deck, enough for 24 guests. The lower deck holds crew quarters with ample space for anyone else." Su Yao nodded to herself. Truly typical of royal nobility, class divisions had already taken hold the moment everyone set foot on the ship. All players were meant to act as advisors, yet their treatment differed drastically. Those assigned to the lower deck would surely be displeased. Still, Suya had no intention of wasting energy arguing for fairness with members of the royal elite. The Nord lived up to its reputation as a top-tier super yacht. Its interiors adopted neo-imperial classical styling, blending subdued elegance with understated luxury. Warm cream and pearl white formed the base palette, accented with matte gilded detailing. A portrait of King Augustus, the aging monarch, hung on the main hall wall. It appeared to be a portrait of the king in his youth. His eyes held a hint of compassion, 3 parts contempt and 5 parts scrutiny. He seemed to watch every person passing through, lending the space a solemn, imposing atmosphere. The attendant continued his introduction as he guided Siyao toward an elevator. The welcome banquet will be held on the main deck in 1 hour. A custom formal gown has been prepared for you inside your suite. You may call me via telephone should you require anything else. Once the attendant departed, Siyao explored her lavish bedroom. Floor-to-ceiling panoramic windows offered unobstructed ocean views. The headboard wall featured solid wood relief inlaid with a full pearl shell emblem of the Lantis Empire. This was the everyday luxury of nobility. It was perfect in every regard. Compared to this super yacht, her wooden transport vessel might as well belong to a slum. Siyao brushed the velvet canopy of the large bed and sighed to herself. If she ever got the chance, she would build a luxury yacht of her own, to serve as a seaside retreat. She stepped into the walk-in closet, where a mist pink gown hung on display. It featured a halter V-neck, a fitted waist, and a flowing cut. Its design evoked the robes of ancient Greek goddesses. The fabric was its most striking feature, blending the soft haze of morning pink with shimmering flecks resembling starlight scattered across water, lending the dress an ethereal, graceful aura. Yet, Suyao had no time to indulge in the luxury around her. Less than 30 minutes remained until the banquet, and the instance was her top priority. She quickly changed into the gown and slipped on her heels. She retrieved cosmetics from her storage space, styled her hair into loose curls, and applied simple makeup. As an internationally renowned supermodel, she needed to stay consistent with her persona. When she stepped out of her suite, fewer than 10 minutes remained before the banquet began. The door directly opposite hers opened at the same moment. A tall man dressed in Taoist robes stepped out. It was the male player who had spoken to Fan Yibing earlier. So this was Daoist Jingxian. Hey, Senior Su Muja. I've long heard of you. It's a pleasure to meet you. Please take care of me. Jingxian wore a playful grin. Siyao gave him a slight nod and continued forward. Wait a moment. Let's walk together. Jingxian called after her. Siyao did not refuse, and the two entered the elevator side by side. Jingxian appeared carefree on the surface, yet he was far from simple. Back on the dock, he had skillfully extracted information from Fan Yibing's teammate in just a few lines. Furthermore, apart from Suyao, he was the only other player invited to occupy a premium suite on the top deck. That alone proved he possessed considerable strength. If he became an ally, he would be an invaluable partner. If not, she would need to treat him with extreme caution. A soft chime sounded as the elevator arrived at the banquet hall. Suyao and Jingxian stepped out one after another, instantly drawing every gaze in the room. Some watched them with curiosity, others admired Su Muja's striking appearance, while a few stared with malicious intent. Suyao scanned the hall. Beyond the players, numerous NPCs also attended the banquet.